Listen up, people. Manscaped have done it again. This time, it's the Chairman Pro, giving you a clean, close shave. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro has long-lasting battery life. And you use the code FTM20 and you will get 20% off of this product. Yes, people, big up to every single one of you. 12th man is back. Arsenal Roundabout is back. It's got the panel I always look forward to. We've got Albert, we've got Northside, we've got Kenny Ken, and we have got Igal. Big up to every single one of you. Please make sure you're doing me a favor and following every single one of these guys. Albert JTV, Northside LDN, Kenny Ken, and Igal Talks Football. Big up to all of you guys in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And you've done the same to all of these guys as well. Please big up Manscaped. They've been good to us. We need to be good to them. There is a new product on the market. You can get 21% off for Christmas. It's FTM20 is the code you need. Or click on the link in the description and in the pinned comments and it will take you straight there. The Chairman Pro is out. For those of you that don't have beards like Kenny Ken, for those of you that don't have a little bit of stubble / beard like me and Igal and Albert, you can go and get a nice clean shave with the Chairman Pro as well. They're doing everything now, Manscaped. All the products on there, FTM20 for yourself for a treat or for a Christmas present. Please make sure you go and show them some love because they've been very good to the channel and it helps us grow. Look, big up to every single one of you. I want to start straight off with you, Albert. Albert, you have said to me for a long time, the number one striker that you want is Victor Gyokeres. And tonight, he has scored a hat-trick against one of the best sides. Now, albeit two were a penalty, and you always get this, by the way. Oh, it's the Portuguese league. It's only a Coventry player. He only scores tap-ins. He only scores penalties. This guy's on absolute fire. 58 goals and assists last season in just 50 games. He's got 5 goals now in the Champions League in only 4 games. And he's also scored 4 the other night. And at the moment, 16 goals in 10 league games. This guy is on fire. And right now, in Europe, only him and Marmoush are really competing when it comes to goals with Haaland. We've got to get this Victor Gyokeres guy, haven't we? We've got to bring him to Arsenal somehow.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's what I'm going to say. It's kind of copy, paste, repeat, but it's just it's not one of the things that I told you so. It's like if you watch football, you watch football. You like certain players, you think they're good, you think they could be a good fit at your club, sort of thing. But yeah, I think when I first spoke about Gyokeres, it's probably like going back to December last year now. So like you kind of touched on it, you have the thing where for his example, obviously played for Coventry in the Sky Bet Championship. I like what I saw. It's a rough and tumble league. The Championship is you know what I mean. It's week in, week out. He showed some good promise there. Obviously, got the move to Sporting Lisbon. And I think sometimes you know what it is where we're so heavily invested into the Premier League. It's almost as if any other league is what's the term? Who's Farmers League? Is it?
Yeah.
But listen, you can only play in the league that you're playing, innit? And when you produce the numbers and produce the numbers that he has, it's not just the goal scoring aspect of it. It's his ability to assist as well. And I said this to you before. You have to start somewhere, don't you? You know, before we heard of the Van Nistelrooys and the Sergio Agueros, they played in the respective leagues they played in. People always ask the question, can they cut it in the Premier League? And obviously, if you've watched football in the last, I don't know what, Premier League last 15, 20 years, we've had some amazing goal scorers over here, Dan. You know what I mean? But with him, he's got better and better. More eyes are on him. At the time when the striker talk was spoken about at Arsenal, we had obviously the people talk about Tony. There's Isak. There's some other usual suspects that I mentioned. But I always, when I spoke to you or other people, I always remained firm on Victor Gyokeres. And I've said if Arsenal were going to splash the cash, as the famous term you always hear, for me, it was always him. It is still him. It's not just about what he's scoring tonight, but even when he had the minor knee operation in the summer, I think some clubs are like, oh, not too sure now. Like he's a good player, but you know, knee operation. But he comes back, recovers. I think his first game back, he scored a hat-trick. I think he did. I think he scored a hat-trick. So yeah, Dan, listen, I'm only repeating what I've said to you time and time again. You know, strikers are hard to purchase. They're not like they were you go back probably maybe even 15, 20 years ago, we had a plethora. You could talk about, you could do a whole podcast on it. But when there's one available, and let's be honest, Arsenal did want a striker in the summer. I think the issue, in my own personal opinion, is they're willing to get one, Arsenal, but they're not prepared to break the bank. But for me, if you look at this guy in particular, Victor Gyokeres, you have to. Yes, he's coveted by many, many other clubs out there that want to get him and sign his signature. And people will say, "Oh yeah, but look, Darwin Núñez, in Portugal's league and Liverpool bought him." But no, that's to me, that's not even a comparison for me. And I'm talking about over a sustained period of time. Probably Northside watches the Portuguese league more than I do. Most definitely, probably do. But I can only judge a player on what he does in the domestic leagues that he plays in, i.e., when he's at Coventry, and obviously now he's at Sporting Lisbon. He's absolutely killing it, and he's a top quality player. And he for me, if you're talking about all round and fitting somebody into a side, you can talk about systems that it comes out your ears, but he's the man, Dan. He is the man. Whether Arsenal are prepared to go there in terms of trying to, nab him from Sporting Lisbon, like many other clubs will do, so be the case. But Arsenal must make a serious play for him if the interest was true from them back in the summer.
Facts. Look, I've liked him. I actually liked him when he was at Coventry, not for Arsenal. I will say that. I liked him. I did. I know you liked him back then for Arsenal, but I looked at him and thought, oh, he looks like a good player. And I remember Wolves being linked with him, thinking that would be a good signing for Wolves. Like, it really would. He'd be a good signing. I think that would be a good upgrade on what they had. I think at the time they just got rid of Jimenez. They were looking for a striker. To be fair, I think they still are. And when he went to Sporting Lisbon, I thought, whoa, that's a bit of a strange move. Like, is he that good? I'm not sure. Coventry, yes, but
good move, yeah.
Is it a good move for them? Good move for him? It's probably a better move for him. Not sure he's going to be ready. Wow. Was I wrong? Absolutely killed it. Smashed it. And now he's smashing it against Manchester City and in the Champions League. Well, I always view people in that competition. I always look at the Champions League against English clubs and see what they do, because a lot of people say Farmers League, Portugal. Northside will tell you better than anybody what he thinks of the Portugal League. So I'm cool with that. And Darwin Núñez is a great example of that. Absolutely killed it, and he's come over, and it hasn't really worked for him in Liverpool. Although I don't think he's as trash as what people make out. He's definitely not going to take Liverpool to the next level, right? Victor Gyokeres, there's just something about his play I like. There's a lot I like about this guy. I think he's an all-round striker. I think he'd do well at Arsenal. And if I'm honest with you, when we look at in the likes of Jesus and Havertz, trust me, I'm taking Gyokeres over those two, in my opinion. So that's the way I see it. I wanted you to touch on that, mate, because I know you're a big fan. And I know that you're one of those that, that talks a lot about him. And you and I have spoken a lot about it, Albert, about him coming. So let's see.
Yeah.
Look, Northside, I wanted to hand the mic to you tonight, man, bro, because you and I talk a lot, bro, but you looked so peeved the other night about everything that was going on at Arsenal. That was before the Edu news, by the way. And I just wanted you to have the mic about how you're feeling, because I watch a lot of your content and, you come on here quite a lot when you can. And I just feel like it would be not fair, because there's a lot of people that come on here, or that either in the chat or that are on with you, and they'll shout over you and, no, you're talking rubbish. So I just wanted to let you have a little bit of an uninterrupted segment on tonight's show, because I'm genuinely interested to hear what your thoughts are right now, how things are in the club. And I want you to mention the likes of the Kroenkes project, the Edu situation, and how Arsenal are playing at the moment under Arteta, because there's so much to divulge. And I do want to break it down a bit afterwards, but I just feel like I just want to give you the mic for a few seconds, my bro, and just like open up about some of the emotions, anger, and frustration you have right now.
What should I start first? Edu news? Where do you start first?
Yeah, I mean, that's why didn't really give you a question, because I wanted you to just sort of go into how you're feeling. You can start wherever you want to, my bro.
With the Edu news, I just feel like it's a bad look on the club. This guy, Edu's supposed to be the face of this project and process alongside Mikel Arteta. We've seen over the years that they've come out and said that they get the players together. And he's backed Mikel a lot, saying that, we're building the team in our image and we're getting the players in that we need to, but we have to work within a budget. We're now lost him to Nottingham Forest, a team, with all due respect, I don't think anyone expects them to win anything. And I think it's going to look bad on the project in terms of We're hearing rumors about Saliba potentially going to Real Madrid. Now, with 2 years on his contract, he could be looking, why am I going to give another 2 years? I mean, this guy is supposed to be the face of it. This guy was part of one of the people that sold me this project. And now he's not even seen out the whole year, the rest of the year. Now he's going to Nottingham Forest. I don't think that looks good. I don't think that looks good on the project, because how could you get players to believe in a project when your sporting director is going to a club with that hasn't got the expectation of Arsenal, with all due respect to them? They're not, no one is expecting them to be in a title race. No one's expecting them to be, winning in Europe or doing anything like that, even though obviously they got European heritage just a long time ago. I don't think it looks that good. Edu, regardless of I didn't like Edu, it doesn't look good on the project, is what I'm saying. And what these players have been sold. Because they're not just talking to Mikel Arteta when they're coming in, they're talking to Edu as well. Now, I'm not a big fan of Edu, but at the same time, it's alarming when you're hearing, I saw some articles about, Edu saying that he didn't have, Mikel had a bit of power over certain transfers, and, they weren't seeing eye to eye, and, Mikel getting the last say on certain transfers. That also is not a good sign into the next sporting director. The next sporting director is going to come in. He's going to obviously want to recruit the type of players he wants to recruit. He definitely doesn't want to be hearing that Mikel Arteta is getting the final say on transfers, or is able to, kind of push his ideas to the side and say, no, this is the player I'm going for. To me, it looks like, I'm hearing also that Arteta is going to have a say as well with the next sporting director. Are we going back to Wenger then? Are we going back to Wenger then? Because what's the point in having a sporting director if you're just going to talk over him, or not listen to him, or not give him the power to make the decisions that his role requires? If you get a sporting director, you need somebody that you're going to trust. That's the whole point in getting somebody in, to take off the burden off the manager. We moved away from that with Wenger, and what are we doing now? We're going to get, why is Arteta even have a say over the sporting director? The sporting director and the vision from the club should be continuing regardless if the manager changes. It's to create continuity at the club. It shouldn't be based on what the manager wants. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same when you saw PSG with Mbappe having say over players going at PSG. They had to move away from that. He had too much power. You're either going to have a sporting director or you're not. If you're not going to have a sporting director, there's no point appointing one. If you're just going to be an Arteta yes man, you either get somebody in that you believe can build the team to be successful and play the style of football that the club wants, whether it's counter-attacking or attacking football, or you don't do it. What kind of top sporting director wants to be undermined by the manager? I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing. It's kind of half-hearted to me. In terms of
do you understand, just quickly, also, sorry to cut in, bro. I said I wasn't going to interrupt, but I wanted to go ask you a genuine question. Do you understand the fan base that were like, had some, because there's been a lot of fans that are like good riddance. There's also a lot of fans that are like, man, no, nay bothered. But there's actually some fans that are like genuinely devastated by this. I don't get it. What is this Edu guy done? Like, let's be real. Like, you see some people that I'm so sad, like he done such a great job, and I'm like, did he? Like, we haven't won anything in this guy's regime. I don't get it, Northside, personally, that. But there's same people who were happy with David Dean going like, yes, cheers, David. See you later. The guy who genuinely won us stuff over the years, whether you like David Dean in the end or not. But I don't know, man. I don't get that.
I agree, bro. Like, ultimately, he done some good, but he done a lot of things that were bad. He done a lot of things I didn't agree with. Certain players getting new contracts, certain players coming into the team and not even getting any starts. Marquinhos, as an example, a completely useless signing. All the goalkeepers that we ran through that did nothing. Trusty, bringing him into the team. Going and getting Willian that wasn't good enough, and we're going and getting deadbeats like that. Do you know what I mean? Approving deals like that. Re-signing Reece Nelson, re-signing Nketiah. Do you know, getting Fabi Vieira that ain't good enough, getting Lokonga that ain't good enough. When they were out on loan in the Premier League, Luton and Nottingham Forest, both of them didn't want to sign them on to permanent deals. Why? Because they're not good enough. So we can point to Declan Rice, but there's been a lot of signings that weren't good enough. Getting Zinchenko. Ultimately, Zinchenko, what's he done? I thought he was supposed to come in to have the winning mentality. Not been good enough, which is why nobody even wants him starting anymore. Going out and getting Jesus that we said ain't going to be good enough to get us over the line. Now we went and got Havertz, also ain't good enough to get over the line, which is why we're now talking about Gyokeres. These are the uncomfortable conversations that this fan base don't like to talk about, because they only want to talk about when it works. Thomas Partey, good signing. Trossard, good signing. Declan Rice, good signing. But look how many players I've just named, or how many decisions I've just talked about. That subsedes that. That goes over that. There's too many bad signings. This bench is the way we've got this bench here. When we said that the transfer window wasn't good enough, that's under his watch as well. Not just Edu, Arteta, because both of them, using their words, we are the ones that decide how the team's going to be built and which players we want to bring in. So both of them can hold the blame. If it's both of their projects, both of them can hold the blame. This is why, after all these years, we're still looking for another striker, because we never replaced Aubameyang, and now we're looking at Gyokeres. I'm sorry, there's some good stuff that he did. He brought in Gabriel as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Some good stuff that he did, but he done a lot of stupidness as well. A lot of stupidness. And £800 million, I may not like this, the Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke, but I can't lie and say that the owners haven't given enough money to at least win a major honour. And the squad didn't have to be built like this. Instead of spending the money that we did on Fabi Vieira, we could have went and got Dani Olmo. Instead of going in and spending money on Sterling, we could have showed ambition and went and got somebody like a Consensao or a Pedro Neto. We didn't have to build the team like this. We didn't have to break the bank. We didn't have to spend 60 million on Kai Havertz. We could have went out there and got a Dovbyk. We could have got Ivan Toney. We didn't have to break the bank to buy certain players of quality. So that's the thing. Ultimately, this bench, now they're understanding why we were saying that this bench ain't good enough. And what pains me is this fan base is always too slow. They're always too slow. And this is why I talk with Vim, because at the end of the day, yeah, this number 10 issue, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let everybody else have their say. This number 10 issue, you buy Fabi Vieira at the start of the season, you tell us that this is certain articles coming out that this is his breakout year. Then you loan him back out to Porto. You keep Ethan. 2 games that you play Ethan for 90 minutes, he's man of the match. Yeah, we already know it's Bolton, it's Preston. It doesn't matter. The kid is man of the match. You keep him on as the second option. You're not playing him in the number 10 in the league. But you would rather put Mikel Moreno there that doesn't have the attributes of a number 10. You'd rather play Trossard there that doesn't have the attributes of a number 10. You keep Zinchenko. The process, the little project that you did with Zinchenko as a left back hasn't worked out. Why not just play him as a midfielder, like the same way he plays for his country? If you're not going to play Ethan, then at least play Zinchenko in the 10. Why don't you do that? Because you can't just be bringing in players and then just loaning them out. You didn't want to work with ESR. Fulham were able to get a tune out of ESR. You couldn't get a tune out of ESR. So you got rid of ESR. You got rid of Fabi Vieira because you deemed that he can't do a job. But then you wanted the backup to be Ethan, but then Ethan doesn't get a string of games. Let's remind everyone that Ethan's had the least amount of minutes out of all of our attacking players. Yet in 2 games that he's played, he's been man of the match. Yet this guy doesn't get a start. Since Odegaard's been injured, in 1 game you played 3 DMs in the midfield. 3 DMs, no ball carrying player, no creative midfielder, nothing. 3 DMs to keep that kid on the bench. And people want to talk to me about this manager building players up and working with youngsters and Ethan's going to do this, and Ethan ain't going to do nothing with this manager. This manager doesn't believe in the youth. And Saka, he better be so grateful to someone like Unai Emery that actually gave him a chance, because this manager would have never given Saka the chance back when Unai Emery gave him a chance. This manager's a clown. You are moving Trossard around every single time we have an injury. Trossard playing a 10, play as a striker, play on the right, play on the left, play this. It's a joke. Trossard ain't been great. They've all been crap. But at the end of the day, I can understand his frustration. Whether this guy plays good or not, he's the one that gets moved around. But Martinelli can get into the team. Martinelli was rubbish last year. This year, he's been missing a lot of opportunities as well. Martinelli ain't been great, but he gets to start games. But Ethan has to hold bench. Ethan has to hold bench because we got favourites around here. This manager has to justify the stuff that he's done. I don't want to hear nothing about rotation. When we said we only got rotation for defenders, people didn't want to hear it. They talked about combinations and versatility. Well, now this is your combinations and versatility. A disjointed bench. And we've got to work it out. We've got to work it out. It looks like the dark arts is dried out. It looks like the scoring from set pieces is dried out now. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with all of that? Certain things we used to have that was good at this team. Ben White overlapping, whipping in crosses, using Declan Rice's height in the box. You know what I'm saying? With making runs into the box and headering it in, using his height, using Havertz's height. Where's all that gone? Where's all the Partey from deep? Long balls into the front three, transitioning. What happened to all of that? Because those were actually good things that this manager brought. Where's all that gone? Where's all the good things that you brought to this team? And why is it that we have to set out at every season, we're either going to play defensive the whole season, we're going to play attacking the whole season? Why can't this manager adapt? Because I've seen Slot adapt game to game with Liverpool, and how long has he been there? This manager's going to get sacked. This manager ain't good enough, and people can keep holding on and praying and thinking he's going to turn it around. The excuses are drying up. The time is up. He doesn't win me the league this season. I want him gone. And I don't see him turning it around. I thought the capitulation would be when the pressure's on. Look how bad we're playing. The pressure ain't even on yet. We ain't even had Christmas yet. Okay. Keep trusting your process then, innit? Don't talk, you don't want to be associated with people like me. No worries. End of the season, we'll see who's right and who's wrong. And I hate to be right, but I know I'm right. And everyone that said it's a 10 out of 10 window, well, then you tell us what the solution is, because your manager's struggling. Because Odegaard's been out for ages and he still can't figure it out. Still can't figure it out. Look at the game management in the games that we lost this season and compare it to last season. Aston Villa, Fulham. The way that we got over the line against Porto, we had to take it to penalties. Bayern Munich. Now look at this season. Look at his game management as a manager when you're supposed to earn your money. Where was the game? Where was he being a game changer when we needed to get over the line against Brighton or Atlanta, or getting the win against Bournemouth? Okay, I'll continue. This club only realized when the season's over. Let's waste another season. Let more managers go. Like the same fan base that wanted to let Ancelotti go because you told me he's washed. He's washed, yeah, but this guy's the savior. Ancelotti's washed. Don't respect Simeone. Inzaghi, can he do it in the league? Oh, Ruben Amorim. Oh, but that's in the Portuguese league. Yeah. Keep disrespecting all these managers while your managers still are not delivering us anything. Yeah, and then by the time we go in for a manager, oh, look, we could have got Klopp back in the day, or tried to at least. But you might want to keep holding on to losers. Okay, let's keep doing it. Let's keep going. Every other manager is a bum. All these other old men, they're bums. What's your manager delivered? Okay, no problem.
Look, it's really hard for me anyway, to disagree with a lot of what you've said. You've said keep trusting the process. Well, Edu doesn't trust the process anymore. The process is done for Edu. He's now gone. He was the one that apparently was trusted it the most, and he's now gone. That doesn't fill anybody with a lot of confidence. Like you, I've suggested managers that could potentially replace Arteta, whether it be now, one day, or in the near future. And I was told that they were awful. Antonio Conte goes 7 points clear at Serie A. Hansi Flick is top of La Liga. Carlo Ancelotti has won how many Champions Leagues? Simone Inzaghi's won everything in Serie A. But this guy is the right guy and the man for it. And at the moment, he's making himself look rather stupid. Now I stand by it. I'm keeping Arteta till the end of May because everyone's told me we're going to win the league this year. So we'll see what happens at the end of May. If he doesn't, and he doesn't win me a trophy, I'll be asking him to go. But Gal, there's a lot that me and Northside have said. I know that normally you see differently to us. And I remember you quote, and I say you quote, myself, Kenny, and Northside, you called us bottle jobs last season for waving the white flag and throwing the towel in. I'm not saying we're doing that already, but I do think there's a lot of us that are just believing that we're looking at it in front of our eyes, thinking we are nowhere near ready for a title. So what have you got for us, Igal?
When we go 10 games on the bounce, 15 games on the bounce, that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a good run. We're going to need to get on a good run of form. And until we do that, I understand the skepticism. I understand the questions because, guys, we have not been playing well. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Red cards, injuries, whatever you want to say, we've not been playing well enough. So I understand everyone's skepticism. I understand Northside's stance. He's saying the same things that he's been saying. The reality situation is the way that we're performing and the results that we're dropping gives him more onus to continue to say that. Unlike the last couple of years where, you know what, the performances were a lot better. We had 24 points at this point in one season. We had 26 at one point point of the season. Now we have 18. So obviously we need to get ourselves in gear. Obviously, we need to turn this around, and I hope that Martin Odegaard coming back will be a big catalyst for that. I hope a big win versus Chelsea going into an international break where we can regroup and get ourselves going after international break is going to be big for that. And you're talking about December and Christmas. Well, we got a big advantage this year when it comes to December break period. We're not going to be leaving London. All our games are either going to be away games within London or games at the Emirates. And for a team that's had a lot of tough fixtures to start the season, our fixtures are about to swing into our favor. And I do hope that we can start to turn it around from there. I'm not giving up on the manager. I'm not giving up on the team yet. I still believe we can still turn this around. I do think Liverpool will drop points. I do think Man City right now are looking very vulnerable. As you've seen, they've just lost 3 games on the bounce. First time under Pep that they've done that since I don't know how long. But yeah, overall, you guys can say there's a lot going wrong right now, and I do agree. We need to find a solution, and Arteta needs to be quicker at finding solutions when things are going wrong, and he is at fault for that game versus Newcastle. The players were not up for it, and in the second half, Mikel Arteta and the management team did not do enough to help us win that game. As for Edu leaving, you know what? I agree with Northside. It shows a little bit of it shows that one it caused disruption in the back room because they were surprised by that potential the Edu leaving that quickly. They were surprised. They did not expect him to jump ship that quickly. And Northside, I think did you read the same article that I read? It said that Edu went to the board, asked them what his future is like, and if he can actually get a CEO position or if they can ever give him that position. He did not get any inkling that they could give him that position. And Edu has the ambition to say, you know what, I'm going to leave and I'm going to get a better position elsewhere. And it's not a thing where it's like, oh, he's just leaving us high and dry. I rate that. And Dan, I don't know where on earth you got people crying about Edu leaving. Please show me, because anybody who's crying about Edu leaving, get yourself together. We've had other people leave this club and we're still going to go on. The club goes on. Edu leaves, anybody leaves, the club goes on. At the end of the day, you guys are saying I'm Arteta sexual like everyone does in the chat. If Arteta leaves tomorrow, I'm not going to cry. I'm still going to support the team as always. So people need to relax with this whole thing. Everything we've done is not down to just Edu by himself. There's a lot of people behind the scenes also doing this job. And I think that Edu, you know what? I've been a heavy critic of Edu at times. I've thought, you know what? He could have done better with some of the player sales. He could have done better with some of the transfers. I thought that Josh Kroenke was an integral piece to getting the signings of Odegaard, Tomiyasu, Ramsdale through the line that summer when we were dilly-dallying until the final days after we lost 3 games on the bounce to start the season. Do you remember that when we were in 20th place with no goals and all those defeats? So
we're playing as bad as that at the moment.
I don't think so. I think right now you got to look at the context. Expectations are a lot higher. So the points that we drop weigh a lot more heavier on our souls as fans. Like, especially when Man City drop points, especially when you look at Liverpool looking shaky versus Brighton. But I do expect Arsenal to beat Chelsea this week. I do expect Arsenal to show a good performance versus Inter midweek. And as much as we've been poor, Martin Odegaard comes back, we're going to be much better. You guys have all said we don't have a backup for Martin Odegaard, and you know what? Arteta's shown that he could somewhat manage, but he didn't have the balls to back.
Egal. What happens then? What happens then when Odegaard comes back in and we're crap still?
What happens if he comes back and we're the best team in the league?
No, exactly. No, that's what you've already said that though. When he comes in, we're going to be better. But what happened? What would happen? What would your thought be if he comes back and we're still not banging?
One thing I will tell you is no matter what, he comes back into the team, we're not going to have a donut hole in the midfield. One major issue we've had since he's been gone is Leandro Trossard can't hold on to the ball in the midfield. Also, when we play Ethan, he's still very young, and Arteta just doesn't fully trust him. Arteta needs to get out of his head and stop protecting Ethan. Ethan's ready enough to play. I think he could have played versus West. I think he could have played versus Bournemouth. I think he could have played versus Liverpool. I think he could have played versus a lot of these teams. He just doesn't want to give him a start.
Look, I
But
think that Ethan Nwaneri is a player that 100% needs to start getting on the pitch now. I mean, I'm looking at Trossard stinking out the place, Martinelli putting in performance after performance after performance. That is just so under par. It is crazy. And I can see why people call us Saka FC, because if he turns up, we win. If he doesn't turn up, then we seem to lose. And Cole Palmer, Chelsea fans, everyone's laughing at them because they got one player. Well, we can't be laughing too hard because we're in a similar situation right now.
that's not true. That's not true.
What do you mean?
That's not true in the sense that we have plenty of match winners in this team.
They're not turning up again. Who's turning up to win us the game?
It depends. Are you
Gabriel at the back with a header?
Gabriel has definitely been a game changer. Also,
no, come on. I was joking, bro. Come on. He's not the moment's player, Gabriel at the back. Come on. Let's be real here.
The person I'm pointing the finger at in the attack is Martinelli. That's the guy I'm pointing my finger at.
Because I want to see him improve.
I'm looking at Martinelli and his performance. I think what game was it? What game was it? Was it versus
Liverpool?
Preston or who was it?
Liverpool. Oh, Preston. Yeah, he was poor.
Versus Preston, and then the performance versus Newcastle. I don't know how much credit can we give.
He was poor against Liverpool.
There's a few games, man. Yeah, there's a few games.
All season.
Martinelli right now, there's a case to be said that Martinelli, since 2 years ago, has massively regressed. And it's a point now where I'm looking at him and I don't even see him as a potential starter. I just see him as a squad player. We're struggling.
Maybe that's what it is now.
Do you know what that goes back to? Do you remember when we were saying Martinelli needed competition years ago and Saka? And people say it's going to hinder their progress. Yeah? Look at last season if we had to rely on Martinelli. Because this bad form is continued from last season. And this is the thing when people have their favourites and, your favourites can't come out the team. Well, how do you know they're going to keep up that level? How do you know they're going to develop into the players that you think? A lot of the players that were Project Youth players, ESR, Nketiah, Martinelli, a lot of these lot either fell off or they left the club. Let's keep it real. And that's why you always need to add quality to the team. Partey we used to argue about Partey being the best DM in the league. Partey's now declined. You know what I mean? And now we got Declan Rice. That's why you always need to get quality. And this is why I hate when people got their favorites. And this player, no, but you can't take him out the team. First of all, you don't know where this player is going to develop. You don't know how long they're going to keep that level. And this is why you always need it. Martinelli wasn't performing last season, no problem. We had Trossard on that left-hand side. Do you know what I'm saying? That was good enough to compete and take his position. And then when you've got Partey that we're probably going to look to get rid of it at the end of this season, probably, and we were looking to get rid of him before, you've got Declan Rice. And this is what happens when you actually buy in quality, not players that can just do a job. Players that actually have quality, that when you have to rely on them, they can actually perform. I know the whole team ain't been performing that well, but that's the level of quality. And that's why when people tell me about Sterling, it's like, look at what happened with Saka. Was anyone going to be confident if Saka was out for the whole season and we had Sterling for the rest of this? No, nobody would be confident with that. The level is way too far of a drop-off.
I need to see more from Sterling, 100%. I don't think he's going to be this shit forever.
And Jesus.
Hopefully he can give us something. Jesus, and you know what? You guys said something earlier. You were talking about Zinchenko and all these other signings. Honestly, I'm not even focused on every single player. I'm looking at Mikel Arteta and I'm saying, you are the manager. You need to find ways to get something out of these players. Because if you give a chef shit ingredients, he's still going to be able to come out with a good meal. So I'm looking at Arteta. I'm saying, you're the head chef. You need to come out with good. You need to come out and give us these good meals, because the performances have been terrible. The results have been bad. And honestly, we are one Chelsea result away, one Chelsea defeat away.
If we don't win, even if we don't win, it's done. It's done. A draw is even done.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But hey, one more thing. The reason why I'm looking at this team and I'm saying to myself, what the fuck, is because I'm looking over at Chelsea and I'm saying, these guys, we're laughing at them for the last 2 seasons. We're competing for the league, and now they're level on points with us to start the season. That's a joke, man.
That proves how far they have improved, because they definitely are, or how far we've fallen. You work it out. Listen, let me Kenny, I'm gonna come to you because you were laughing at the Martinelli thing, but I'm going to bring these super chats in as you can. I know why you're laughing as well. Chaitanya has said, big up Dan on the panel. I don't care if Edu wants to leave. He's clearly more ambitious than our club. Need a winner, both as the director and a manager for Arsenal. It's time to get serious and sign Gyokeres. Chaitanya, you are a legend, sir. Thank you so much. And I totally agree with you in relation to Gyokeres. Thank you for the super chat. Sue, just big up Dan and the panel. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe to everyone. Let's build the content creating community and make sure you do that with every single one of these. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'm going to do that for every single one of you. Suj, likewise, you're a legend, my bro. Thank you so much. And Matty, make sure you go follow Matt Southern Gunnar. Make sure you go and subscribe. What phase is slotting? What phase will Amorim be in upon arrival? Did anyone see what Sporting did tonight? Yeah, we did, mate. We played that Sporting team, the Champions League soon, by the way. Do you know what? That was what I was thinking. Don't laugh too much tonight because we got to go there and we got to play them. If they smacked up Man City 4-1, what could they do to us? Big up to Matt. Thank you for the super chat, my bro. We much appreciate that. Kenny, let me come to you, bro.
We have to
Look,
play them?
say again, go.
We're playing them this year?
Sporting, yeah, we've got them in a few weeks' time in the Champions League, bro, away.
Yeah,
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
we got them
Exactly.
off
Exactly. So there we go. Big up to Guns. Lee's just raided the chat. Absolute legend. He's gonna jump on for a bit. Absolute legend. Kenny, come chat to me, my guy, because Martinelli and you have always had this little thing that Martinelli is a player that potentially we might need to move on from. And I saw you smiling and it made me smile because you said it way before. So I wanted to ask you about that and some of the stuff that Igal was saying there, which I think was fair in some of the stuff that he was saying, but also I believe that some of the squad depth has been an issue for a while. And I remember, Kenny, me and Northside getting absolute pelters on this channel and his channel and every channel me and him was sharing our platform was saying, we don't think this squad's good enough. We don't think the depth's quite there. And a squad of 22 with 6 injury-prone players, on top of the fact that 4 of our durable players have got injured, Saka, Ben White, Declan Rice, Odegaard, that is definitely not looking like a very good summer window now, is it?
Well, some window was never about, getting players in. I think, I'll repeat it as much as people will want to hear it or don't want to hear it. It was never about getting players in. It was all about balancing the books. It was all about FFP. It was blatant. Even last year when we spent about nearly £200 million on players. That's why I wasn't shocked. I just thought, right, if that's the squad we got, then certain players have to raise their game because we are going to need, to rotate players, and that is what we should have been doing. But unfortunately, the manager doesn't trust certain players, and he's running certain players into the ground. In terms of Martinelli, that's again, who knew, eh? He knew. The fact is, the manager himself was trying to replace him for the last 18 months. That's just a fact. And Martinelli, once again, he gave 11 Rento a yard. What happened? 11 Rento caught him up and had him in his pocket. Yet another game where a right back has had a comfortable game against Martinelli. I think this Martinelli kind of protection's got to stop now. Just see for what he is. He isn't a player he was before. I don't know whether his injuries or not, but when you're going for a title, you really shouldn't be wasting time, waiting for Martinelli to come good. Either he comes good or delivers, or he goes out and we get someone else in. But the problem we got is Trossard. Trossard's another one who's doing my nut. He was actually doing my nut. In fact, he's been annoying me for the last few games now. He's really been getting up my nose. On Saturday, he was really making me angry. In fact, he was making me more angry than Martinelli. In terms of like everything he did just annoyed me. I thought, once again, we're playing with 9 men. So it's one of those things where everyone's talking about Arsenal getting a striker next season. Seriously, I think Mikel Arteta is going to make getting a number 6 next season a priority. He's going to make replacing Martinelli and Trossard and getting a proper left winger, and I think those will be the priority positions as well as getting a striker. But everyone's saying striker. But we'll get a striker. But if we don't get another 6, a proper number 6, a proper CDM, not a DM, a CDM, and we don't address that situation at left back and left wing, we'll have to striker, but we'll be a worse team than we are, than people think we are now, because we're just going to be seriously weak unless Mikel addresses those situations. In terms of Edu, unfortunately in football, money talks. Always has done and always will do. The only people loyal in football are the fans. The fact is that he's tripled his wages. He's got his position where he's overseeing the portfolio of clubs run by Mary Nakas. And to be honest, it didn't make a difference whether he's here or not, because at the end of the day, when people talk about Edu, I always say one thing, and I'll say it again and again. There's a transfer committee, and our dear manager is on that transfer committee. And some of the signings that have been made, maybe Edu, like I said, saw them through, have got the manager's fingerprints on it. Can't deny it. So when you criticise Edu, you've got to look at the manager, because nothing happens, in the footballing side of things without the manager. And I think sometimes, if things don't work out in terms of signings, call out Arteta, call out Per Mertesacker, call them all out, not just him. You know what I mean? The fact is that Edu's gone. Vinay went last year. The common denominators for me are Josh, Per, and Mikel. They're still here. If we're making bad signings, call them out as well. Day. Do you think the team manager, who's part of the top transfer committee, is going to just accept any other player? No. Do you think Mikel Arteta didn't want Sterling? If you believe that, you believe anything. Do you think Mikel Arteta didn't have a hand in Zinchenko and Jesus? After all, he coached them at Man City. He knows about them. It's not as if they were players that Mikel's never heard of. So how about, looking at Mikel and think, you know what? Yeah, there his signings. They didn't work out. It's on him just as much as it on Edu. But Edu's always going to get a bad press. And to be honest, yeah, he's been hit and miss for me. But I always say the most important people at the football club are the players and the manager. And when it comes to signings, I look at the manager more than the players. Simple.
Look, I think you're bang on when you talk about the manager. I think it's been one of the most disappointing starts in terms of tactics and the way we've played that I can remember under Mikel Arteta, since he was struggling when he first got the job and picked up a poor side, let alone when we're £700 million deep now. Albert, let me come to you, because there's been a lot of talk on Mikel and his tactics. And I think against Newcastle, not only did he get it bang wrong, he got the substitutes embarrassingly poor. We're bringing on Jorginho and Zinchenko, by the way, to try and win a game of football, and we're £700 million deep. What is actually going on here? Talk to me, my bro.
Yeah, them substitutions you're talking about, actually, I couldn't believe it at the time, to be honest. It was bad enough that we got put through the pain of watching that game in real time in what was about 83 minutes gone when he made the substitution, whenever it was. I couldn't believe it. I mean, for example, Ben White was on the bench. And I'm thinking, if he's fit enough to make the bench,
yeah, then
I know Thomas Partey's done well at right back, filling in. I know he's done well, Dan, but you don't just stick with the same formula because he's done well. You're playing Newcastle away, It's a tough ground to go to, despite I don't think they'd won. I think Newcastle had won in 5-6 games. But yeah, just also touched on Waneri a little bit as well, Dan. I mean, he's obviously ready from the snippets we've seen him play in the games he's played. But even if you're going to look at it from a point of view of you're protecting somebody coming into the first team, we've played 2 of the promoted clubs already. And to be fair, he only came on against Leicester because he was in trouble. We needed the spark. He didn't start the game. I mean, he didn't start against Southampton either. So I don't know if Mikel, he's been in the job. I know people say it's not even so much his first job, Dan. It's just a case of how long he's been at the job and the game management side of it. And we're going to a ground where we owed them from last season, not only obviously going into the game on Saturday, but nothing worked. And what concerned me even more, to be honest with you, not even just from a tactical point of view, but just we're 1-0 down. And I thought we started the second half terribly. in that game against Newcastle St James Park, and it didn't get any better. I
In
mean,
20, was it 20 seconds we almost conceded? Or like 40
yeah,
seconds?
almost, yeah. So
Fucking hell.
you know, it's going to be a tough day in the office anyway. But I think from a wider point, Dan, and I came on your channel. I've raised this point to you quite a few times when we had the run of 5 games. Someone put the thing in the chat saying how many points Arsenal would get out of the possible whatever, work out the calculations. But I put quite a realistic figure, and people looked at me very dumbfounded. I said, look, this is the Premier League. It's ain't the Premier League of 15, 20 years ago. You turn up and smash teams left, right, and centre. You saw what Bournemouth done to Man City, and they're a good side. You have to earn the right to win football matches. And let's be honest, I know we've got Inter Milan obviously tomorrow, and then we've got Chelsea on Sunday, which is not going to be a gimme, even though our record is great, not too bad in recent seasons. But Dan, I'm not being funny. When we play Forest at home, do you think that's a gimme with the way we're playing and the way they started the season?
Mate, they look like the Nuno under Wolves, not the Nuno under Spurs. Forest, trust me.
Yeah. Nuno will be licking his lips because, as we always say, like we watch Premier League football. There's no easy games, but I look at sometimes Mikel's decisions, man, and I think that game on Sunday was a perfect example. And I think I messaged you as well, and I messaged Kenny Ken, and I was watching the game, and I was saying to myself, I know we're in the early part of the season, but you're looking at it thinking, has this team got what it takes to win a league title? With what I was watching that game against Newcastle, I said no. And that's not a knee-jerk reaction. You know me well enough, Dan, and long enough to know that I don't say things like that for no reason. And you can talk about that, can come back to recruitment, but if I'm talking about in terms of the isolated game and watching that game on Saturday against Newcastle, I couldn't believe what I was watching from start to finish. After what happened last season when we went there, they're not in the greatest amount of confidence as well. Obviously, not winning I don't think they won in 5 games. But I look at us, Dan, from an offensive point of view. I know the clean sheets are dried up. I think it's our last away clean sheet. Was it Spurs away, apparently? I look at us from an attacking point of view. And this is probably not even something that's attributed to this season. We move the ball too slowly, man. We make it so easy for teams. Then they play against us. We do, whether that's at home, but and particularly away from home, we move the ball too slowly. And I said to you before, I don't think we got enough pace in the side either. It goes back to what some of the guys have mentioned before. If you look at the Arsenal 11 now, or the core of the first 12, 13, 14 players, I think the one player who you could look at and say you could probably upgrade and potentially move him on. And I know there's a lot of guys that like Martinelli, but I'm looking at the crux of the team. I'm looking at players. I'm thinking, if you don't buck up your ideas soon enough, you won't be bench warming. You'll be moved on, because he's definitely in the danger zone in terms of his progression at this football club, 1,000,000%. But yeah, going back to what you're saying about tactically, I don't know, Dan. I'll be honest with you. He said legend judges. I don't know. I just think you've been in. It's the game management side of it for me, man. And what I'll say is, if we keep playing like this in terms of how long we're going to be in the Champions League, we're in for a long season, Dan. I'll tell you that right now, man, because there's some better teams and better footballing sides and better
tomorrow night, bro.
And better tactical managers that will tear us a new one. And it won't be pleasant if we don't buck up our ideas pretty quickly.
Facts, my bro. Listen, spoke a lot of true facts there. I agree with a majority of it, if not all of it, I've got to say. Listen, before I come back to Northside, big up to you, Guns. Thanks so much for the raid, bro. There's well over 1,000 in here now. Thank you so much, mate. Big up to everybody for coming over from Lee Gunners channel. Whatever watch along. Man, you're the watch along king, man. I don't know how you do it, Guns, honestly, man.
Oh, mate, I hated watching that, mate. Real Madrid got put in the bin.
What's happening with them, bro? Well. What's happening with them?
Mbappe, he's effed up the whole thing. Bro, they play like Arsenal. I can't lie. Yeah, it's literally, I feel like Northside when he's watching Benfica. Like, so he's watching Arsenal, then he goes and watches Benfica, yeah? Right, the difference is Madrid actually win stuff, like even playing trash. But Bro, that game tonight, F that game. Mate, Ancelotti needs to go. Yeah, the general consensus online is he's got to be sacked. Yeah,
if they
and
go
that is the standards, isn't
trophyless,
it?
if they go trophyless this season, you brought the curse.
No. See, you guys always fall into this trap, yeah? Right? They've already won one. They've already won one trophy this season, which is more than Arsenal already. They've already won the. They've already won the They've already won the UEFA Super Cup. Yeah, they won 3 last season.
Your toxicity has been transferred.
No. Mate, since I've been officially online, I'm a Madrista, although I've been watching La Liga since I was a kid. Because back then, Kenny, you're old enough to know this. Yeah, back in England, back in the day, it was on ITV more so than English football. Yeah, we used to get 1 game a week. Yeah, Anfield '89. I remember watching that on TV. But that was the 1 game a week. Yeah, we used to get Italian football and La Liga. Yeah, but I'll be honest, mate. Yeah, like coming back to Arsenal, bro, the standards at Madrid are so high, and people always call me out and say, "Why did you compare us to Madrid?" Well, one, we smashed the stadium down to compete with them, yeah, and Bayern, and the standards for both of them clubs, yeah, we're never going to be as big as them. Let's just be real with that. I'm not stupid. Yeah, but I want that same mentality within the fan base, same mentality within the club that let's get best in class. Yeah, and if he ain't doing it after 12 games, sack him. Yeah, they don't do processes. Yeah, both of them clubs have won over 30 trophies since we won a league title. 30. Yeah, Real Madrid have won more Champions Leagues than we've won league titles. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, and they've won like 8 in the last, 15 years or something, 20 years? Yeah. It's crazy, yeah. And like, but the difference between that club and our club is we have accountability at Real Madrid. They don't at Arsenal because it takes time. Well, I've been told for 5 years that there's nobody better than Super Duper Mick. Well, what phase is Arnie Slot in then? What phase is Ruben Amorim in then? Because I watched that game as well on my Mac while I had that on the monitor, the Madrid game. Bro, they absolutely battered Man City second half. Battered them. AC Milan, I've watched them a few times this season on watch-alongs. They're stinky. They're 7th in the league. Yeah, they absolutely rinsed Real Madrid today. It wasn't even close. Could have been 5 or 6. Yeah, but the difference is our fans are not in the stadium booing at poor performances. Real Madrid fans are whistling, jeering and booing and walking out. Yeah, our fans don't do that. Yeah, and this is why we just go round and round in circles. Yeah, that game at Newcastle, as Albert was saying a minute ago, yeah, we play so slow. And all of us on this panel and in the chat, whether you support Arsenal or not, or just watch them, yeah, you know after 5-10 minutes whether we're going to win a game. You can tell straight away. You can tell whether we're going to win a game within 5-10 minutes. And the amount of times I called it, my dad, yeah, don't watch football so much anymore. He hates football now. Right. But my mum texted me at the weekend, 5-10 minutes into that game, yeah, and said, Dad thinks you're going to lose. 5-10 minutes in. 5-10 minutes in. My dad barely watches football in comparison to me. Yeah, and it's like, we're so far away from being what we used to be. It's embarrassing.
Why do you think this is, Guns, right? Because, and ask you and Northside this, we've had more Windows than Microsoft and more phases than Marvel. And we're still stuck in this stage where we are £700 million deep and we're stuck in this. We're almost there. And like I was on the terrace earlier with LB, and me and LB were just saying how it was. Deluded was up as well. Big up DG. And all 3 of us were on the same page, really saying this project is failing. And I know, Igal, you might not like to hear that because I know you've been stuck by it and you've been positive throughout it. And big up to you for that. I've always admired that. But I've just got to say how it is. This is not going to plan. And yeah, we can turn it around. Of course we can, 100%. But I don't really have any faith that we're going to. And I think there's a difference between believing and hoping. Yeah, because you believe. We all once believed in Santa Claus. When we realized he weren't real, yeah, we didn't ruin our Christmas, did it? We just carried on with Christmas. So actually, it might not be a belief that comes real. We might have to just forget Arteta and say, Arteta, we might have to move on. Now, look, I'm not saying sack him right this minute. You guys on the panel, you might think differently. I'm giving him till May, but I'll tell you what happens in May. If he wins me nothing, he goes. And if he don't go, I want the owners gone. That's the way I see it. But I'll let you and Northside come in on that, man.
Go on, Northside, go on.
Do you know what? At my old workplace, there was this answers this question. There was he's like, how old is, I think the guy's like 55, 57-year-old Spurs fan. And every single time I said to him, I said, you can't be happy with the way your club's been going on. And he's like, nah, Poch, he had a good run. And I said, yeah, but come on, bro. Like, I see more trophies than you, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm a lot younger than you. He's like, nah, but we're just gonna be thereabouts. As long as we play good football. And it just made us looking at him. I remember looking at him. I was like, how can you accept this? Like, you've been doing this for how long? Your whole life has been like this. And he's just like, yeah, well, And I think that's the problem with Arsenal fans. Like, it's been so long where the majority of this fan base, a lot of the loudest people in this fan base are always like, just be happy, be happy with everything that's going on. Don't kick up a fuss, to be a supporter is somebody not calling things out. That I feel like they're comfortable. Arsenal fans are comfortable not winning. They're comfortable. They only get uncomfortable now because when they start getting cooked on Twitter. They care more about getting cooked on Twitter and social media than actually holding this club accountable. The reason they want to talk about phases and projects and referees and all that is because they don't want the banter from rival fans. But ultimately, if you have the mentality to win, once you're winning, nobody's bantering you. So it's a win-win. You get trophies and you don't get bantered because you're the champions. But I feel like it's been for so long now since we won the league that this has become the normal way of thinking. The same way with Spurs. They've been losers for so long, that it's just a normal way to support Spurs. Like, if you're a Spurs fan, you just normally, I know, Daniel Levy, he'll get a couple of players. We'll get a manager. Like, we had Harry Redknapp, and then we had Poch, and we had all these players. He'll get us playing good football, as long as we're playing good football. And the thing is, if that infests your club for too long, that becomes the way that people genuinely believe that is the way that you have to support your club. You have to support your club by just accepting everything. And as much as Arsenal fans have got a lot of chat for Spurs, you guys have the same excuses towards your club. The majority of you. You say Spurs don't win anything. Oh, they never kick off. You don't kick off to change anything. You don't try to be the voice of change. You just accept it. The same way you tell us that Spurs fans accept it. The problem is there's so many of these guys that are just like, maybe the fans ain't going to like me, and Arsenal fans, who cares, man? Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Do you know how many people don't like me? I couldn't care less. I don't even know who you are. Do you know what I mean? I sleep beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Even when they're all there on Twitter, I'm not even on Twitter. I don't even see it. I'm sleeping nice. You know what I'm saying? Nice. I don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Argue with yourself. But that's the problem. I don't know when this happened because I was born in 92. I don't know when this happened. Probably towards social media, but I didn't have like my presence on social media like that. I don't know when really it started, but I didn't grow up with Arsenal just accept mediocrity. And I don't understand when it's been this whole switch where, as an Arsenal fan, you have to be level-headed, you have to be positive, you have to be realistic, you have to be all these type of things, which is basically to say you have to accept failure. When did that become that? Because when I brought this, it wasn't that kind of mentality. So I don't understand. Yeah? And this is still the thing that you guys want to be talking about, invincibles. But when we had this, it wasn't this kind of mentality in the fan base that everyone just has to be a real supporter means not calling things out. I think there's just a lot of online bullying that to be an Arsenal supporter, you have to be positive. You have to be like certain platforms. And we know what platforms I'm talking about. You have to be like that. That is a real supporter. And that's why it's been too long. It's been too long. And now this fan base has turned Spursy. And as much as they want to talk crap on Spurs, you guys have allowed this club to become Spursy. And every single thing you say about Spurs, take a look in the mirror and say, do you go up against everything you criticize Tottenham to be? Because if you don't, this is the problem why this club's like this. Because you don't want to be hated. You don't want to be outcasted by people that don't even know who you are, don't even affect your life. But you want to be accepted. I don't know where this lack of acceptance that the men in this fan base don't have. Yeah, but in life, you're not going to be liked by everyone. You might as well just not be liked for being truthful and telling the truth, innit?
Facts. And that's what I do. That's exactly
funny,
what
right?
I do. I just say what I think, innit?
Yeah, guys, just quickly, right, because I want to bring you in, but this is hilarious. I've just had a text message from someone you all know very, very well. 4 words. My club is finished. Who do you think has texted me that?
Your mate Canton.
No. No, big up, Tom. It's LB. LB is a Man City fan, and he's just said, my club is finished. He's a Man City fan. That is how the mentality is over at Manchester City with 3 losses on the bounce. They're like, we're done, we're dusted, because they are in that mode where they're like, this is not something we accept.
No,
so
the standards are there, Dan. Yeah. Why do you think that's on the green screen? That's the standards, yeah. Right. I'm sick to death of hearing people, yeah. Right. It's not a dig at the hybrid squad in the chat, yeah. She's saying, I'm sure it's Sophie as well, yeah? Right?
Yeah, big up, Sophie.
Right? She's saying, oh, how are we supposed to topple the best team ever in the Premier League? Well, they're not, are they? They're not the best team ever in the Premier League. The best team ever in the Premier League is Sir Alex Ferguson's Man United. We brought a guy in, a novice, because a comment before that was, when Northside was speaking, was Ruben Amorim's not proved nothing in the Prem. Well, neither had Arsene Wenger. Neither had George Graham. Yeah, no, like, what are we doing here? Like, George Graham came into Arsenal from Millwall. Bruce Rioch came in from Arsenal from Bolton. Yeah, like, we're doing bits. Yeah, Arsene Wenger comes in from Japan. Arsene who? Yeah, we're going up against the best manager I've ever seen in my life, by the way. And I'm an old man in my 40s. Yeah, he was the best manager. Pep's a sick manager. Don't get it twisted. He's unreal. But Fergie's the best manager I've ever seen. Yeah, and we're going up against that with less funds, a smaller stadium, a worse manager. Yeah, an unknown, really. But he was tapped into the French market. Cool, whatever. Change the diets and all of that, yeah? Right, but at the same time, yeah, I feel like way too many people online listen to what Gary Neville says, listen to what the mainstream media say, and then you have the other side of that, like, because then people that listen to that are like, oh, they're offended that Gary Neville said this or Jamie Carragher said that. Who cares what they're saying? None of these people that have never played for our club or don't support our club are not supposed to like us. So why are you offended by what they're saying? Because we've all got friends that don't support our club. They're all going to slag our club off. Do you cry about it? No, you don't. So who cares what Gary Neville says? Who cares what Jamie O'Hara says? Arsenal hate. It's not hate. They're not supposed to like you anyway.
All right.
Yeah?
Right. We gotta admit though, Lee, when it comes to Arsenal, they literally are baiting us all the time.
No, they're not. Agal, I'll tell you why. Yeah, Arsenal fans are the weakest, most fragile beings on social media. And I've been on social media a long time doing YouTube and previous Twitter accounts. Arsenal fans are so fragile about anybody cussing their club or criticizing their club. Every single time there's a poll, they take over. When Gary Neville cussed us off and said the 8-point season, we bottled it. Yeah, oh, I don't think they'll win it. Every single one of the companies that guy owns or is invested in, yeah, got spammed to hell on Trustpilot and all these other rating apps with a 1-star rating. Why do you think he's now being positive? He don't want his companies in the mud because that don't look good, does it? Yeah,
when it comes to social media, Arsenal fan base is elite level, Champions League level, mate. When it comes to social media,
but at the same time, on the flip side of that, you then have a lot of other people that would just want to get into that and want to be part of the media and stuff like that. Yeah, when I speak, I say what I think. Yeah, I'll say it online, I say it offline. Northside, you've been to my gaff, you know this, you know me well. Kenny, you've met me millions of times. Love you always, my guy. Yeah, like, you know, I say offline exactly what I say online. But online, with a lot of other people, they say one thing online and another thing offline because they play a game. Yeah. Then when you have other fans of rival clubs doing videos, making out we're great and amazing and this and that, the fact in reality is this football club has stunk for a long time. But yeah, we don't do enough. We bought one striker since 2018, and that was Aubameyang. We've not bought a striker since. Right? Not bought a striker since 2018. We're nearly in 2025. Right? That was the last striker we bought ago. Yeah. 7 years ago, and that was Arsene Wenger's last signing for the club. Right? We've needed a backup to Odegaard. Yeah, I called that in the summer. I've called it for time because that guy ain't it, bruv. Yeah, that guy is not good. Yeah, he's all right. He ain't good, and he ain't going to get me over the line. We need a backup to Saka. We needed another midfielder. We went and signed Mikel Merino. Everyone's lauded him up. You said it on the show I was with you the other day, where you said, "Oh, well, I don't watch Sociedad." I said, "So why were you hyping him up then?" Because I watch him every week. Yeah, and he's trash. He's not good, but you lot see all the stats of, oh, most ball recoveries in the top 7 leagues. Oh, and then you see other people putting out highlight reels of him. He's going to unlock Martinelli. He ain't unlocking anything. He left the key in Sociedad, bruv. Like, real talk. No, real talk. The fact is, yeah, this club is not interested in winning. It's interested in finishing top 4, and it has been since these cronkies got in power.
Well, that's not true, though.
Well, it is, because the proof's in the pudding. We ain't won nothing.
No, but just because
and they don't do what's required.
Just because you haven't won doesn't mean you're not trying to win. That's two different things. Okay, I think the club have been trying to win. It's just, let's be honest, we've been very close, and it's been small margins where we've lost. It's not like we've been absolutely terrible the whole time. Lee, the way you're speaking, you'd think we've been Manchester United or Chelsea the last couple of days.
Well, Manchester United won 2 trophies in the last 2 years, so we're not them, are we?
We've still been better than that.
Well, we
That's
haven't.
But
They've
yeah,
won
when
2
you created
trophies.
a team,
One
when
second,
you
one
create a team that can
Lee,
compete,
I'm not gonna lie. We've gone over this so many times on my channel, on your channel, on here. Let's just go past that. Let's look at what's going on. Oh, Northside, are you still there?
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, when you build a team, yeah, when they first come, when Arteta first came in, they gave him all the power to make decisions at the club and buy his players. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the incentive and the drive to give him the players and give him the money to spend to get the team into top 4. Why have we not got that urgency when we've been in 2 league titles? Why not go out in the summer and say, you know what, we've built the team up to this point. Yeah, we're not going to not give you the striker. Here's the money for the striker. If they believe in this manager so much, you should be more incentivized when your team is up there in terms of being able to challenge. Now they just need those extra players, that number 10 that can turn up in the crunch end of competition, that striker that can put those chances away. Why would you not show that ambition? That's where I judge their ambition. Yes, they've given the money to be spent, but now you've got all the incentive to go out there and get a striker. You've got the team to a certain level. Why would you just go and get a Sterling when the club clearly know we need a striker? That doesn't show me ambition of wanting to win. That showed me comfortability at being top 4 because we've reached top 4. Let's reel back a lot of the money now, and we've just got top 4. It looks like we're going to get top 4.
1 second. That's not
how we finished the last 2 seasons, and we're not going to push on to get that extra push in terms of the market to go and get that player to get us over the line.
Northside, that's not true, because when you look at the summer transfer window, we've all covered the summer transfer window. We've seen all the news about players that we were transferred and we're linked to. Some of the players we wanted to sign, we were going to have to pay 65 million, 50 million, 45 million. There was money there. They just never got those deals done. So then they ended up going for their second or third options and basically last minute signings in Raheem Sterling. Now, I'm not saying those are
why
good
didn't they get the
signings.
deals done then
One
if the money
second,
was
one
there?
second.
And after the
I'm not
stories
saying-
are made up bollocks
Guys,
anyway.
one second. I'm not protecting the signings. I'm just simply saying, to sit here and say that there wasn't money, that's not true. Because Arsenal was willing to put the money
I
up.
never said they didn't have the money. That's not what I said. I said they
but
didn't show the ambition.
But when you go back to ambition is linked to wanting to spend. I do believe they wanted to spend, but they don't want to spend without reason. They don't want to spend 65 million on Leroy Sané and friggin' something
They
else.
didn't need to get Gyokeres for 100 mil. There's a buyout.
I think if Arsenal could have gotten Rafinha, they probably would have spent the money. I think if Arsenal could have got Nico Williams, they would have spent the money. I think if Arsenal could have got Victor Gyokeres for 65 million instead of the 80 that they're asking at the time.
They wouldn't have got that.
He has a release clause, bro. What are we talking about?
Also, another factor is there's some players that Arsenal is trying to shift out now. We have guys like Zinchenko, Jesus. We already want to shift out. I'm not excusing everything. I'm just simply saying there is money there. We just didn't allocate it properly.
Exactly. If the money's there and there's a release clause, you can get the deal done. Gyokeres already came out and said he's happy at Sporting, but he wants to play at one of the elite leagues. Yeah. So that's basically a player saying, I'm not going to rattle the Sporting fans, but basically I'm ready to move. Yeah. We know how much the release clause is. If the money's available, like you said, then that's a lack of ambition because the money's there. We're just not ambitious enough to get it over the line.
Maybe the targets we're interested in. We have certain things that we wanted to do before we do that. For example, Jesus would have to leave before we go and get another striker into this team, because then we would have Jesus on 200k a week. We'd have Havertz on 200 something, and then we'd be bringing Victor Gyokeres in. 3 players who'd be relatively playing in the same position on ridiculous wages.
Yeah, you do realize Zinchenko is nicking 150 a week, yeah? And you do realize Martinelli's nicking 180 a week, didn't you? You do realize we only have 4 players in our 22-man squad because we went backwards 3 this summer. We had a 25-man last season. We've actually got the smallest squad in the league, by the way, after being that close to a back-to-back title. You do realise there's only 4 players in our squad under 100 grand a week. You do realise that, innit? Yeah, and one of them is on loan from Bournemouth, the goalkeeper, Neto. You do realise that, innit? Because I do this every day, bro. Yeah, and there's 4 players in our squad under 100 grand a week. Yeah, our top earner is 29 on the 280 a week. Every hour of every day, he earns 1,666 quid for 5 years. Whether he's sleeping, pissing, shitting, walking, playing, walking around tranquilized at Newcastle the other day. Jesus is on 265. How are we getting rid of him? Martinelli's on 180. How are we getting rid of him? Yeah, Zinchenko 150, Ben White 150, Tomiyasu 110, Kieran Tierney 110. How are we getting rid of all these players, bro?
Okay. 1 second. Instead of complaining about what has happened in the past that we cannot control, as that's already happened, what can we do to make things better? In my opinion, in January, do you guys see any transfers coming in? Be
Nope.
honest.
No.
Last season, they said that you can't. This fan base, when I wanted a striker last January, they said January is too hard to make deals. Nobody wants to sell.
PSR.
That's the word of this fan base.
You
That's
know
what
what I'm
they
looking at? You know what I'm looking at? I'm hollering at Liga and I'm saying, bro, Real Madrid, give us Arda, give us somebody.
Why would Arda Güler leave Real Madrid to join Arsenal?
Game
Because
time.
he ain't going to get a game. Where's he getting a game? Over Odegaard?
No, he's gonna get game time at Arsenal.
So where's he getting a game then?
He can.
Where's
can
he
go.
starting at
He's
Arsenal? What position?
He's not guaranteed to start.
Okay, thank you. So he ain't getting game time then, is he?
So
So
you're
why would he
saying
come to Arsenal not to get game time when he can stay at Madrid and win stuff and not get game time and play here and there? Why would he leave? Come on.
Okay,
I
so
don't
you
think
guys are saying
that's the right signing, though, Gal, personally. Like, I don't know how good this guy is. Maybe you and Lee know more than me. I don't watch Real Madrid
Dan,
much.
sorry, Dan, let me come in quickly. Sorry, Dan.
Go on,
the
go on,
thing
go
is,
on.
that Arsenal wanted a striker, yeah, but obviously the links was Sesko. That was concrete. So they were looking at him, but the fact is, I don't personally think he's ready. From what I saw at the Euros, and to be fair to him, he probably plays for a better club side than he plays for his national side. But that's the guy that Arsenal wanted, and like I know the striker talk wrangles a lot of Arsenal fans, right? Whatever side of the fence you sit on, but I think I spoke to you, Dan, and maybe Kenny Ken, but that game on Saturday against Newcastle, and I remember this, everyone remembers it, but Saka puts in that cross in the first half in 25 minutes. You guys know what I'm talking about. We watched the game. Where Saka's probably thinking, where is my attacking players in the box? And the thing that annoyed me the most, even more so, you play with Saka week in, week out. So you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to get in the right area. So it's moments like that, whether you're playing Newcastle away, City away, whatever away ground you're at. Yes, we talk about Arsenal creativity. That's another subject, but you're gonna have moments in the game. You've got to make it count. And I remember that thinking, he's done all the hard work. Where is he? Where are your attacking players? That's where your main man, your go-to man, whether it be your Haaland, your Gyokeres, whoever it is. That's what makes you. That's what puts you 1-0 up in the game. And it's a different team talk at half time, but we don't score that chance to make the opportunity. 1-0 down, and you know what happened, what the rest of it is. So Arsenal did want a striker. Let's not kid ourselves. But what I would want to Arsenal in terms of Gyokeres, as I said from December last year, we was looking at Sesko. And let's be honest, it could happen. Football moves very, very quickly. People might not like it, but he may be the option in terms of a striker that Arsenal might go and get. Not my favorite, not my own personal choice.
We're not getting a striker in January unless
I'm not talking about January. I'm talking about the fact that Arsenal did want a striker, but the one they were looking at was Sesko. I don't think he's personally ready, if that's my own humble opinion.
You want to know something? When it comes down to the ambition part, Liverpool did not sign a single player, and they're top of the league right now. You don't necessarily you can work with what you have. I don't think Arteta is doing a good job working with what he has, with the fact that Leandro Trossard did a job for a couple games. Ethan hasn't really gotten much game time in that Odegaard position. And with one injury, as you guys predicted, one major injury to Odegaard, and we find ourselves in a precarious situation. Hopefully, with Odegaard being back in the next couple of weeks, we can pick up our form and we can start getting a lot of points on the board.
Do you see similarities here at Galdo, right? I'll open the panel actually because Kenny's been quiet. Well, I'll bring Kenny in as well, man, because I know he's being polite. I want to bring him in. But for me, when you look at what we were doing under under Wenger with Kolasinac on 125 and Mustafi over 100k. Now I'm looking at Zinchenko and Tomiyasu and Tierney and even Partey and these guys that if we wanted to get rid of them would be on an unbelievable amount of wages. That now we're basically just saying, oh, it's so good to get rid of all the toxicity and all the high wage bill. And we're just basically rocking up another huge high wage bill. We've got to try and get rid of these players. So I'm kind of with guns on this one. I don't see how we're getting rid of some of those players for any sort of money, Gal. We've already seen how bad some of our not just our recruitment, our player sales has been. Some of the Chelsea recruitment team were able to get 25 million for a young kid from Burnley. They've never even played. We couldn't even get more than 18 for Ramsdale, mate. We bought him for 25 3 years ago. Like, I look at some of it and I think, what are we actually doing? And none of it actually makes sense. But look, man, Kenny, let me bring you in, man, because I know you've been sitting there soaking it up, man. Like, how do you see this situation moving forward against Inter Milan and Chelsea, bruv? Because we've got to pick this up, man. Because honestly, this season could be short if we carry on with this form.
No, it's still a long way to go for me. There's still, a lot of games, but we need to start getting results. Starting tomorrow, build up some confidence. It's not going to be easy against Inter, but with Declan Rice out, the midfield kind of picks itself. Thomas Partey is going to play in the midfield. Marino playing, and I'll play Martin Odegaard. So you know what, stuff it, mate. If you're fit enough to like I said, do a bit of training, get him on, and then give me some match practice for Chelsea. But let's face it, a lot of people are writing off Liverpool, and one of the things that does surprise me is that it seems like a lot of people in his fan base they accept Arsenal, losing only to Man City. It's like I'm hearing that if Liverpool win the league, then Mikel Arteta should get the sack. Well, people, talk about his Man City side, and I say, well, I'm sorry, they're not the Man City side of 2018, 2019. It just isn't. That Man City side is unbeatable. That Man City side was great. But these last two Man City sides have been beatable. We proved that when we got ourselves positions and we bottled the league. All this stuff about, it was, pet magic. It wasn't pet magic. It was dropping points at Anfield, dropping points at, and I say it because we're 2-0 up, dropping points at West Ham, 3-1 down again, soon to be relegated Southampton. And then let's not forget that after getting ourselves in position last season, we had Villa at home, not away, fluffed our lines, and we gave Man City an in. That's not to do with Pep being this like genius manager. That's doing about us not being able to deal with pressure. But if Liverpool, cook up, go on this nice little run, it's a disgrace. If Arteta should be sacked to losing against Liverpool. Yet Liverpool have a spine of Salah, Van Dijk. They have two world-class goalkeepers. They have a top-class right-back in Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's had the experience winning trophies. But all of a sudden, Mick Arteta's toast. I don't understand that. I don't understand why last season when I was abroad, I felt from as far away as abroad that Arsenal won the title. I don't get some of our fan base's logic. But one thing I would say, if we don't back our ideas up, then unfortunately, if Liverpool carry on winning and see out those games, I think it's going to be a bridge too far. Even though we got a lot of games, because I think if Man City or Liverpool are about 10 points ahead of us, I just don't see us doing it. I don't think with the way we are at the moment, I just can't see us getting it back. That's why it's imperative. Starting tomorrow, forget about Chelsea. Let's go to the San Siro, give a good count of ourselves and win the match. And then Chelsea, it's a must-win game. Seriously, must win.
It's absolute must win for me, and even a draw, I'm like, nah, we ain't serious, man. Let me close with this to the panel, right? Real talk. We got these two games in an international break. Like, I'll start with Lee, and we'll go around this way to Igal. We'll go Lee north side, Albert, Kenny, Igal, and then we'll close, right? With these two games, I've just got no confidence in either of them, and I genuinely believe we're going to drop points in both guns. I don't know about you, bruv. That's maybe negative, but I just look at what I'm seeing at the moment. I know Odegaard's coming back, but Declan Rice is out. I feel at the moment, Mikel Arteta, we're in a little bit of a mix and match, bruv, because I'm seeing one of our best sixes play at right back. We spent 50 million on Ben White as centre back. We're now playing at right back. We've got our Havertz, who's a midfielder, now playing as our number 9. We've got Trossard, our winger, playing as our number 10 now. We seem to have Declan Rice, who I think is a number 6, playing at number 8. Marino coming in as our box-to-box, playing at number 10. Our best right back, Timber, playing at left back. I'm just so confused by all this. I don't know. I'm not at 11 yet that I can actually get with. And that's why I'm all over the place with it, bro. I don't know about you, Lee.
No, I agree, man. I agree. I'm seeing reports that they're going to drop Barrea. They're going to drop the centre back. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Bastoni. Yeah, Bastoni as well. And it's like, well, if that's the case, they don't rate us then, do they? Yeah, but apparently we're scary. We're amazing. We're great. Nobody's scared of us, Dan. Yeah, let's be real. Nobody is scared of Arsenal. Yeah, were Newcastle scared at the weekend? No. Yeah, were Fulham scared last season? No. Were West Ham? No. Were Newcastle last season? We've had one shot on target in 2 seasons away at Newcastle. That's embarrassing. Now, I'm not worried about us so much in the bigger games, like the Chelseas, the Man U's and all that. Yeah, but when it comes to Champions League, this guy, when it comes to European competition, has got an awful record. He got knocked out to Olympiacos. He got knocked out to Sporting Lisbon. He got knocked out to Villarreal, who went on to win the Europa League. He got knocked out to Bayern Munich, the worst Bayern team in 12 years. Hashtag pray for Bayern. That went well, innit? Yeah, and if you see the top of the Champions League tree right now, Sporting Lisbon, we got away after the international break. They've just banged Man City comfortably second half. Oh, and Monaco. They're currently sat third, and we got them as well. Yeah, we've got Inter who are currently above us. I don't see us getting anything tomorrow. I can't lie. Yeah, Chelsea, I don't know. They're a weird team, Chelsea, right now. Like, you don't know whether they're going to go and slap someone or going to get slapped. They've scored 13 out of their 20 goals, or 13 out of their 21 or whatever, in 3 games. They scored 6 against Wolves, 4 against Brighton, and 3 against West Ham. So they're not really firing. Their stats are kind of skewed a little bit. But again, we were 2-0 down at Chelsea last year, and we were playing better last year than we are this year. And they're miles better this year than they are last year. So I don't know. I don't really see it, if I'm honest. I don't expect us to win anything this season. I said it from the start. I gave the window a 0 out of 10. I thought we'd gone backwards. The style of play is trash. This looks like there's a lot of players in that team. Their body language stinks. It's almost like they've got bored of listening to him saying squeeze a lemon into a jar. Yeah, this is a light bulb, guys. Yeah, and yeah, we're going to go to Anfield. So yeah, we're going to play Never Walk Alone. Like, how many more times? Yeah, go down Speaker's Corner, mate. Yeah, go down Speaker's Corner if you want to be a motivational speaker. You're a football manager. You're supposed to win stuff.
Squeeze a what in a jar?
Have you not seen that story? He gave everyone a lemon, a knife, and a cup, and said, or a jar, and said, right, guys, what you need to do, guys, is cut the lemon in half, guys, and squeeze as much juice into your jar, guys. Yeah. And then what you do when you get that juice in the jar, guys, is you bring it over to the table, guys, over here, guys. And then we all pour our juice, yeah, into the big bowl, guys. Yeah, because this is what we can do together, guys. What the fuck is he waffling about, bro? How about winning a fucking title? Yeah, like, stop waffling. Does Ancelotti do this crap? Me and Matty sat backstage yesterday, and I'll shut up and let everyone else go, yeah? Me and Matty sat backstage after I did my show last night, yeah? Right? And we watched the Dan's team talk when they were 1-1 in a Champions League final. Yeah, the guy walked in, hands in his pocket, so he's already on smoke. They were 1-1, hands in his pocket, walked in, looks at everyone, walked straight back out. 7 minutes later, come back in and said, right, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. And just walk back out. What was the end score? Oh, yeah, they won 4-1. Yeah, like, this guy's doing too much, bro. He's not it. Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, he's the guy before the guy. Go and get me a proper manager. And if Ancelotti gets sacked tonight or tomorrow or next week or next month, sack Arteta and go and get him. Yeah, I'm sick to death of this crap, mate. Round and round and round we go, wasting time. This guy is a scrub. Half of that squad are scrubs. Yeah, and we've only got 2 players under 90 grand. I just checked it. And the last thing I'll say, our average weekly wage per player right now is 137 grand a week. Our average weekly wage per player when he got the job was 81 grand a week. Yeah, and we had a Aubameyang on 350, or 150, and then he got up 350. Mesut Ozil 350. Every single one of them players at our club is being overpaid. Every single one of them. And we're going to struggle to get rid of him. And he's going to leave us a bigger mess. And I said this 5 years ago this month. Yeah, on the 25th of this month, it's 5 years. This guy will send us back 5 years.
1 second. You're talking bullshit, bro. Inflation.
Well, I'm not. I'm talking facts.
Everyone's prices go up. Everyone pays more money for players.
Okay, tell me how Edison's on 100 grand a week and Luis Diaz is on 55 then. Yeah, guess what? Ben White is on 150. Edison, the goalkeeper at Man City, is on 100 grand a week, which is 50 grand a week less than Ben White and Zinchenko, and 80 grand a week less than Martinelli. So what are you talking about?
Check their bonuses. Check how the actual full pay.
No, we're talking about basic. Fucking hell, bro.
Check their bonus scheme. Check their bonus scheme, because you might be looking.
So you mean bonuses off of actually winning stuff? Yeah. You have to get the bonus by winning, yeah? Okay, cool. Yeah. So these men on a flat base getting paid way above the odds.
1 second.
So they're target-related bonuses, yeah?
What? It's funny how you don't mention all the players. You just go straight to one player. But fair enough. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, go through our team. Calafiori's on 120 grand a week. Moreno's on 130. We're not going to do this. Let the other guys go, man. Come on. What are we doing?
I'm not a wage structure analyst. Let's not do this. We're not, right? I'm not paid. I'm not paid to come on here to talk about Arsenal's wage structure 24/7. Right? Let's get back to what
you do realize Savio's on 40 grand a week, yeah?
Who gives a shit about Savio, bro? The guy hasn't.
Well, he's better than all of our wingers, so I think
he's not better than Saka, and he plays on the right.
Yes,
wing,
he is.
so.
But don't worry, you'll find out who he is.
Not better than Saka.
Different argument. Let him go. Go on, let him go. I'm going to shut up.
Respectfully, you've gone too far now. When you do this, you're trying to trigger me. You're trying to trigger me. In what world is Savio better than Saka?
Right, he's got a better first touch left and right foot. He's got better IQ. He can actually dribble. He can sit people on their bum. He set your defender, Calafiori, on his ass in the disgusting, dirtiest low block I've ever seen. He had the Calafiori win one tackle against him in that low block. No. Why? Because he's a proper, pure footballer. Saka has become robotic under this manager because this manager regresses players. Like Martinelli.
1 second. Lee, just because you don't like somebody's aesthetics and how they look as a football player.
No, I did like him. I did like him under Emery because go back to the 5-5 at Anfield. Go and look at 77 Martinelli. That was Savio.
Lee, you've done this before with guys like Mo Salah. Just because you don't rate a player's aesthetics, you belittle them as a player. And that is something that I've seen you do on numerous occasions. You're doing that right now with Bukayo Saka. For you to have the audacity to put Bukayo Saka in the same breath as Sevilla, what's his name? Savinho, whatever his name is, the Brazilian guy. You need to relax, my brother. Because
one's playing for Man City and going to win stuff.
You're talking about one of the best players in the league, and you're comparing him to a player who just came from.
How can you be one of the best players in the league? Yeah.
Bukayo Saka is definitely one of the best players in the league.
All right, cool. I'm not doing this. We're doing this on another stream. Let the other guys go. I'm going to be respectful and let the other guys go.
Not only is he one of the best players in the league, Gunnar, he's one of the most consistent players in world football. For you to compare him to Savio, you're losing credibility in this argument.
Okay, so the next two games, I don't think we're going to get a win.
Oh, I never even spoke about that.
Yeah.
Go on, Northside.
Landman.
Take it.
It is what it is, man. Albert, that's all I got to say, bro. We're not going to win. I don't think we're going to win the next two games. We'll probably.
Bro, we beat Chelsea, man. Come on, you see our team. We're up for it against all the top 6 teams.
We'll
see. But that's the crux of the problem, though. The crux of the problem is not one person in this panel has ever said our problem is lifting ourselves for Tottenham. You know, when we had the hard run. Mm-hmm. Everyone in this panel knew we were going to lift ourselves to Tottenham, Man City, that we're going to lift ourselves to Liverpool. But that's not the reason why we're having this debate and why we feel there's a crisis. The signs have been there since the beginning of the season, where teams outside of the top 10, for some reason, unknown to us, they have found it easier to create chances at the Emirates Stadium. And that there's times in matches against the bottom half of the teams where our best player is our goalkeeper. What that says is that our level of intensity, our level of motivation isn't the same against the bottom half teams who we've struggled at and just about beaten. And the Chooks came to roost against Bournemouth. And if you want to say Newcastle are not a top side, that's I don't think they are a level of the top 6, but you may disagree. The fact is, our level of intensity against Newcastle was fan wanting. They raised their game. We weren't able to match it. We lost. It was actually a 1-0 thrashing. It was a comfortable win for them. Bournemouth, even with 11 men, we were struggling. Yes, the 10 made a difference, but top teams can win games with 10 men. The fact is, I know, and you're probably right, that on Saturday against Chelsea, we're going to raise a game because it's Chelsea. But I ain't got an issue with Chelsea. You talked about Arsenal playing in London and about how it's great that we don't have to travel that far. Well, England's not bloody Texas. England's not the USA. It's a small country. At the end of the day, some of those London games, away games, are we going to raise our game against a Crystal Palace, against a Fulham, who we struggled against traditionally last season, or against Brentford? Because those are the games that I have a problem with. I will never have a problem with the big games, and that's where I think it's going to cost us big. Trust me. If we don't play with the same intensity in terms of performance and aptitude and attitude against these top sides, they'll beat us. Because at the end of the day, there's no Swindon Towns in English football no more, in this league anymore, or Derby County 2008 or 2006. There's always a team in the Premiership that can if they've got enough quality to beat you, and that's my issue. And that's why I do have issues with the manager's team selection, that it's lopsided, that for some reason he wanted to play with a balanced side because he wouldn't trust Ranieri. And he's trying to, fit Havertz in a position he shouldn't be playing, trying to play Trossard, who struggles in certain positions, probably best at outside left. And he's persevering Martinelli because he doesn't think Sterling's up for it. But my issue is, Sterling's your boy. If Sterling wasn't, if you didn't have misgivings about Sterling, why did you rubber stamp him and have him at the club? That's why I always say it's not Edu, it's him. He's the one who's the alpha and omega of the football club. So if you slag off Edu, slag him off as well, because nothing happens at this football club without that man say so.
Hey, Edu quit. It has nothing to do with the club. Now,
I'm not saying that we're talking about his signings.
Why isn't Edu trusting the process again?
Why is Arteta in the dock?
That's what I said.
Edu's trusting his pockets, bro. That's what.
Okay, well, his pockets are minted anyway, and he's realised I'm jumping ship before this goes south.
No,
because
no.
I paid everyone way over the odds, and we're finished. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave. Yeah, that's what he's done, mate.
1 second. If Edu leaves, aren't you guys going to be more happy? I thought instead of spinning it into a negative. I get it. There can be
cool. Who do you think's going to get the job? Because I guarantee it's Mertesacker.
Where the fuck did you get that from?
Well, he's already part of the transfer committee.
He's not part of the transfer committee.
Yes, he is.
He's part of the academy. He's part of the academy development. So
he's part of the
transfer committee as well. He's part of that think tank
for youth players. He's also
got an influence. He's also part of the transfer committee. Do your research, mate, please.
Hey, listen. Once again, you guys keep talking about the squad, keep talking about transfers. Let's talk about tomorrow's game.
You do know it's 1,556 days since Arsenal last won a trophy, and look how happy you are.
Wallahi, I'm happy because I'm healthy. You know what I mean?
Like, I love you, Gal. And you know what? Yeah, you're so deluded when it comes to football.
1 second.
But you're actually really funny, and I like you.
I'm happy because I believe this Arsenal team is still has a lot to do. Still can get a lot better. And you want to know something?
No, you're hoping. You don't think. You hope.
If anything, I know I don't want the League Cup as a minimum, but we should still win that too. But hey, let's get back to what you said about Inzaghi. It's not Inzaghi doesn't rate us. He's resting Bastoni, he's resting Barella, he's resting Thuram, he's resting DiMarco because they are going to be playing Napoli. Napoli's currently top of the league, and if they were to drop points against Arsenal,
who's the Napoli manager, Gal? Who's the Napoli manager?
It's Antonio.
What phase is he in? What phase is he in?
Guys, stop trying to win side arguments.
There's nobody in world football better than
joking.
Let me just say my point. With four key players out for thing.
Yeah, but they're not out. He's dropping them because he doesn't rate us.
Okay, it's not that he doesn't rate us. He has other priorities right now. The Champions League is such a long tournament now that you have 8 games instead of just a 6, that you can have games where you rest some players, rotate. You guys always say Arteta needs to rotate more, and when another manager rotates against us, he's disrespecting us. If he has a game that's more important in the league where that team is actually ahead of them in the league, he's going to prioritize that. I understand that. Now, this is an opportunity for Arsenal because yes, he did rotate. Yes, he doesn't have his starters, but with them playing with a back 3, I think we're going to have to figure out how we're going to play against them too, because it's going to be very different. They love playing against back 4s. I was speaking to Mo yesterday, Judge Mo. You guys know. He was telling me, Arsenal's going to get exploited if we go with a back 4 and play the way that we have been playing. So this is a big game for Arteta, and I'm going to have to see how he tries to figure out what we can do against their back 3. I don't think he changes the lineup, but he might change the personnel. And also, we don't want to see
a score prediction, Egal. Give me a score prediction,
bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't expect us to go to our way to what do you call it? Inter. Yeah, you know what? I got stuck with all the Napoli talk. But yeah, Inter Milan, I don't expect us to go away there and smash them or anything. Either it's going to be a 0-0.
Yeah, but why? They're level on points with us again.
Either it's going to be a 0-0, a 1-1. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's just going to be a draw.
And we beat Chelsea. Your prediction for Chelsea is what?
We are going to smash Chelsea. Fuck those guys. Chelsea are not on our level. They are outscoring. You know what Chelsea are? Chelsea are a good bad team. They're good against shit teams. They're bad against the top 6. Reason being, their defense cannot hold up against better teams. Also, their attack can bully smaller sides that cannot score goals on their level. And that's what they have been doing. So they're going to continue to be a flat track bully. They're going to get top 4, but against the top 6, they're not going to get a single win. And Arsenal, you can mark that as a W for us, because I don't think we coming off the back of the game against the San Siro, that is going to be a big what do you call it, opportunity for us to show that we can have a good performance. And against Chelsea, where we relatively turn up, we're going to turn the bridge into a brothel like we always do. When was the last?
So if we don't, then you're going to be fuming and upset then, and you're going to call out the manager because we're so much better than them, and he's in phase 1. So if that manager turns your manager over, you're going to have the ump and call the manager out.
There is 5-0 gal, is it?
I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt in my mind. We're gonna, by hook or by crook, we're gonna beat Chelsea. We're gonna beat Chelsea.
Yo, Dan, I beg you, clip that, please. That's
don't worry, I'm gonna beg it. I'm gonna clip that. Trust me, I'm clipping that.
You know what, guy? If I was ever
do a combined 11 again, because your combined 11 is always slapping it.
Bro, if I was ever down, I would call it down. If I felt down, the only Chelsea would be like, no, bro, life is great, bro.
You don't need the Samaritans, man.
Guys, the only Chelsea players that get into our team right now, as we speak, I would say is Cole Palmer, Jackson, and Caicedo. That's
Why
it.
Jackson? We got 29. What about Neto?
Because
better than Martinelli.
Jackson, as much as we want to,
Neto's the best winger in the league.
As much as we want to big up Kai Havertz, let's be honest, Jackson has been producing a lot more than him. That's it. Simple.
Well, he scored 1 goal less than him.
Okay. Even if you want, you can put Jackson on the left wing.
I'm not saying, but he's another player that we got to watch out for. I'm glad you mentioned Caicedo, because I'm finally like this myth about, Enzo Fernandez being, the next best thing. I'm so glad.
Fernandez is a fraud, mate.
Caicedo's been the best midfielder in the league this season, man. He's been.
We've got to watch out. The 2 players that I'm going to be looking at, because I'm going to be at the Grand. I'm not going to bother about Palmer. But the thing with Nicholas Jackson, I don't know what it is about him, but if he gets his act together and all the parts get together, he reminds me of Didier Drogba before the goals. Because I remember when Didier Drogba first went to Chelsea. Remember when Drogba first went to Chelsea? He was a bit of a mess. And then when he's got his act together, he became a top class player. Turned up at every big game. I look at Nicholas Jackson. I think, if a top coach gets hold of that guy, I think there's going to be. He's got
to improve his finishing, though, Kelly.
But that's the thing with a top club. If someone sort out his finishing, there's a player there, and that's the player I fear the most.
I was giving him stick, and me and Don were going back and forth. I was giving him stick, but he's starting to improve his stats.
Don rates Mad Wakey down there. Just save your time.
Yeah, bro. As
much as you guys call me delusional and everything, I am concerned about one thing. If we don't continue to improve, teams like Chelsea could overtake us in a year.
Why? Because they're crap. You said we're going to bang them.
No, the difference
we're going to turn the Stamford Bridge into a brothel.
The difference is Chelsea will go and get a second striker and get Gyokeres.
Oh, so you mean they'll actually do what's required, unlike us?
Yeah, Chelsea will go and get another goalkeeper, an 8th or 10th goalkeeper in a row.
Okay, so you mean they'll say we ain't trusting the process for 4 years with this guy. We'll get somebody better. Okay, and we'll keep changing until we get one right.
History shows that Chelsea are not afraid to splash the cash, where Arsenal, we have not done that. And
that's factually incorrect, because if you actually go back and look through the last 10 years of Arsenal spending, before Todd Bowley rocked up, we've outspent Chelsea, and in the last 12 years, we've outspent Real Madrid. Since 2012, we've outspent them. Factually, since Arteta's been the manager, no, because you like facts.
You're doing net spend. You're doing net spend.
I'm not doing net spend. I'm doing gross. I don't do net. Gross. Since Arteta has been manager of Arsenal, he's outspent Pep. Since Arteta has been manager, since the last 12 years, 2012, Arsenal have outspent Real Madrid.
Bro, Arsenal have not outspent Chelsea. That's where your argument started. So stop.
No, but that's only since Bowley turned up. So before Bowley turned up 2 years ago, which it is 2 years ago,
we've outspent
them. No, we've outspent them since Arteta's been here.
You cannot tell me that Arsenal have ever outspent Chelsea. Maybe 1 or 2 windows when we brought in Odegaard and Ramsdale and those guys. But you need to chill with that. 1 second. I give you a bone, and I'm telling you something, and then you take it all the way. Big man. But I say one thing.
Big pause.
1 second. I say one thing that's negative. I say one thing that's negative, and Lee Gunner goes all the way left.
No, because you like to use facts when it's in your favor, but you don't look at the actual facts. Yeah, the facts are you said that we're going to turn Stamford Bridge into a brothel, right?
We always
But then
do.
you're saying the one thing I'll call Arsenal out for, literally a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, is if we don't get our act together and start playing properly, then Chelsea could overtake us because they'll go out and do what's required. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
so
because Chelsea.
How about you do the same for Arsenal and call Arsenal out and say, yo, how about we do what's required? How about we go and get another midfielder that's better than Marino?
The only concern about Chelsea is they don't give a shit what players they have on their wages. They seem to sign
their wage bill is less than Arsenal's, by the way. You know that, isn't it?
Yeah, because they keep putting players on 7-year deals.
No. Their wage bill per week is less than Arsenal's.
Yeah, because they're in the Conference League.
No. Their wage bill every week, and they've got a bigger squad than us. They've got 40 players, as you know, because you were trolling them. I see you, right? 40 players. Yeah. I don't think I didn't see that. Right? They've got 40 players and their wage bill is less than ours.
They literally got rid of all their players that were on big wages. They brought in a bunch of young players, and they're currently starting from the beginning.
They're not starting from the beginning. They're starting from Pedro Neto, best winger in the league. Sancho, baller. Yeah.
Best winger in the league. What are you smoking?
Okay, cool. It's fine. I expect us to win everything then. Don't worry, we've got Bergkamp back tomorrow anyway.
What are you talking about, Bergkamp?
Bergkamp's back tomorrow. Yeah, he's the missing piece, mate, with a 29% cross accuracy in the Premier League.
Oh, you're talking about Martin Odegaard. You're
125 games, 29% cross accuracy.
Lee, I don't think you realize how much you've missed Martin Odegaard.
Bro. I've seen Bergkamp, I've seen Merson, I've seen Anders Limpar, I've seen Cesc. Yeah, I've seen proper ballers at this club. Yeah, you think I rate Martin Odegaard? The guy's a scrub, bro. He's trash.
But then you said, oh, if he gets injured, we're screwed. And now you're
because you know why? Because we didn't buy somebody to compete with him. And do you know what we should have brought? Yeah, another number 10. Yeah, and there was a guy, literally, if we poke our heads over our training ground into Watford's training ground, it used to be our training ground right next door. There's a geezer that Girona brought called Asprilla, bruv. He was 18 million euros. We should have signed him. But don't worry, I don't know ball.
Lee,
let's move from Odegaard thing, man.
Agal, I swear, Danny, if you got time, I'll debate you right now.
Do you rate Bruno Fernandes more than Odegaard?
Bruno's a scrub. He's shit. They're both scrubs. They're both scrubs.
Fair enough. I wanted to see where you were going.
Bruno's one of the worst footballers I've seen in the Premier League for a long time, mate. The guy's shit.
Look, you know my thoughts on Odegaard, and that's the way it is. I feel like it's good that we've getting him back, but let's come to a close, or try to at least, because it's hard sometimes.
Hey, Gary, if you've got time, we'll go live right now and we'll debate. I don't care.
We haven't had a 1 hour stream in months.
All right, cool. Well, I'll set a stream up then. I'll set a stream up and send you a link.
Dan, it's either this or putting a TV on and
I'm watching the old fucking Bill. The Bill. Yeah.
On Channel Dave.
All I have to say is
let's watch Mock the Week.
I'm just saying, like, it's either this or we're gonna watch that nonsense going on thousands of miles in America. It's either this.
God.
Well, we know Trump's winning.
I'll tell you what, let's
3 a.m.
Let's quickly get some score predictions, and I've got one question for Lee and Yagal. Albert, you're not giving your predictions yet, Albert. Come on, both games. What are you telling me?
Oh, tomorrow. I thought we might come up a little bit short. But the Chelsea game, I'm going to stick with what I said to you originally on your show a few weeks ago. I think we get a draw.
Oh, really, man?
Igal, go back and watch the show. You might have even been on it. You see what I mean? Okay,
we're gonna draw. We're gonna draw versus Inter, and then we're gonna go smash Chelsea. I say it's gonna be like a 3-1.
Fantastic. Okay. 1 minute, 1 hour, 43, 9 seconds. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go 1-1 in both games. I feel like we're gonna drop points in both. I just don't think we're playing well enough at the moment, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong. I'll win them both, but I can't have the confidence when we're playing this badly.
Eddie and Ketia bagged the brace at the bridge, and you guys are scared of the bridge.
That was a different Chelsea, though, man. That was a different
and guess
Chelsea.
What? We gave him a contract on 100 grand a week because everyone got gassed, and he took us from 4th to 5th in Conte's first season at Spurs.
Guess what?
And then we couldn't get rid of him for proper though because he was on top dollar.
Hey, guess what? We got rid of him now. We're good, right?
Oh, well, you lot gave him a contract, so why are we good now? Because you wanted to keep him, hence why you gassed him up.
How much did we get from Palace?
Yeah, but you wanted to keep him, no?
No. How much did we get from Palace, Lee?
Doesn't matter. Did you want to keep him?
No,
Did you want to keep him, Miguel? Yes or no? When he scored that goal, did you want to keep him? Yay, nay, or bollocks?
Lee,
He was out of contract. We gave him 100 grand a week. Hey, Gal, I'm going to send you a link. We're going to go live on my channel and I'm going to cook you.
How much did we get from Palace? Listen, I got work in the morning, bro.
Oh, look, yeah, that old chestnut. Yeah, bottled it like your manager.
Listen, I got work at 6 p.m., man. I'm sorry. But listen, how much did we get from Palace?
Not enough.
You wanted to let him go for nothing.
Yeah, I would have let him walk out for free because he's a scrub. Kenny, we was at his first game when he scored a brace against Norwich. You remember that?
Yeah, I was. Me and my dad were.
Oh, no, Kenny, I don't think he was there. I don't think he was there, actually.
2017. 2017.
You were in a car with DT, and DT nearly knocked me over at Caledonia Road.
That's right. When you were walking out the
Yo,
gym.
1 second. Can you pull up Malcolm Williams' comment? Just to let these guys know.
Which one?
Malcolm Williams, he says, listen, I'm not in Canada, I'm in the UK. It's 11:53 in the UK, so get to know.
Cool, so we can do an hour then. This guy's got no work rate, literally like our team, bruv. Like, no wonder we're flopping it. You know what I'm saying?
Let Northside give his predictions, and then we'll give you another 10 minutes. Go on, Northside.
Yeah, I was where the streams is going all over the place. I can't lie. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Dan. I agree with you. I think we're going to draw both games, to be fair. I think we're going to draw both games. I don't think Inter, I don't really rate their strikers, even though their team's a lot better coached than ours. But I don't really trust our attacking players at the moment. Chelsea, I agree with what Lee's saying. I've seen Chelsea cook against West Ham, and then I've seen them not be that great. I think they're a little bit individual mistakes against Liverpool, even though they had good aspects to their game. So I'm expecting a little bit inconsistency from Chelsea. So yeah, I think we're going to draw both games, to be honest.
Yeah, bro. I mean, offside and a similar wavelength, which is usually the case, man. I can't lie. Look, man, this has been an absolute lit stream. I can't even lie. It's been superb. We've had 1.2k locked in for the majority of this stream. Absolutely mad. Big up to Lee and all the Lee Gunner fans that come over from the watch along. Big up to all of you, proper real ones, and smash the likes, please, people. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, and more importantly, make sure you check out manscaped.com. Make sure you go use the code FTM20 for Christmas presents, because that's the code at the moment for discount, 20% off. So make sure you're showing the love. Click the link in the pinned comments or, of course, in the description. It will take you there. Igal, shout out your channel and what you got coming up, my bro.
Egal Talks Football. We're going to do a match reaction tomorrow. We got a Chelsea preview coming up, I think either Thursday or Friday, and then vibes from the 6 with the boys. These guys, Vader, we're going to have to speak to Vader about his team getting smacked by Sporting. Hopefully Arsenal don't lose to Inter. And yeah, we'll catch you guys soon.
Love for that, Igal. Love for that. Kenny Ken, always a pleasure, my bro. I guess you're going to go and watch the TV now, mate.
Oh, I don't know. I won't be watching the American elections. I think Kamala Harris is going to do it, but who cares about politics anyway? But one thing I will say,
Trump's going to win.
I'm confident that when I go to the bridge on Sunday, we're going to lift our game. I think it's going to be a very, very good game. But one of my worries is if Saka doesn't, turn up with a goal, I worry about where the goals are going to come from. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, I'm going to go for a very, very boring 1-1. And tomorrow against Internazionale, if Internazionale score early, that's game over. Seriously, I don't see us. We lack a bit of confidence in front of goal. We're not creating anything. All right, Martin Odegaard will be playing tomorrow, but I'm going to say something very controversial. I don't want to upset or wind the go up.
No, upset him.
But one thing I will say about Martin Odegaard, in a big, big game away from home, when was the last time he turned up? Because I can't think of once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, across the arms. I'm not being confrontational. That's a challenge. Turn up. I know he's just come back from injury, but we're a big, big team, and big, big players have to turn up, especially in the big away games. Because at the end of the day, Champions League is a competition. We need to be, if not this season, the season before or after, we need to be serious about trying to win it, and we've got to go to the Internazionale and make a statement. Back time, That captain turn up in the big games away from home.
Well, look, I'm going to be there with you at the weekend, my bro. Me and my dad will be there at Chelsea with you, so I look forward to that one. And look, if it ain't all gravy, Kenny, you just get into cricket and boxing like you do, and you're all right. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. It's not quite the Ashes, but England are playing New Zealand in the cricket, and India playing Australia. So I'm sure I can start to watch that if the football don't go my way.
Oh, mate, thanks for letting me know, Ken, because I need a cure for insomnia with the cricket. So you know,
trust me. If you watch Australia play India, I'll tell you one thing: that the way India are playing, that will put you to sleep. Trust me.
Yeah, I bet it will, mate. To be honest, Man United and Chelsea almost sent me to sleep. I actually thought it was Salford versus Dagenham. It was actually that poor. It was an absolute embarrassment from what I saw.
Let's not talk about Man United. We had a shocker the day before that.
Yeah, that won't.
Yeah, that's very true, mate. Very true. Albert, my bro, big up. How can people follow you? What you got coming up, my guy?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Dam. It's been a while, man. Like, just not too well, and work's just. You actually got hold of me when I wasn't working for once, to be honest with you. So
it's like I knew.
Just to come on, yeah. Albert JT, as you know, people, come and subscribe. You'll see probably an entertaining YouTube short after our game tomorrow.
Bro, always a pleasure, my guy. Northside, smashing it every time I look up. Northside's live, man. What are you telling me, bro? What you got coming up? How can people follow you?
Big up, bro. Yeah, man. Big up to everyone. Albert, Kenny, Ken, Gal, Lee. Love having me on, Dan. Yeah, tomorrow Inter. Probably a bit of more. Probably FIFA career mode. Try not to get sacked. I'm actually in the title race in phase 1. I'm actually in the title race,
bro.
Yeah,
how's that possible?
I don't know.
Oh, because you changed the setting to world class. Yeah.
No, legendary. Wait, everyone that was watching chat, tell him, don't even try that. You know what I'm saying? But big up. So yeah, FIFA career mode, and then we'll do Inter. And then we'll see how the game goes, because if it goes left, then obviously some more people need to get cooked. So yeah, man, big up, bro.
Love, man. Come on, Northside. Always a real one, man. Always a pleasure. Guns, thank you for jumping on. Real talk, thank you for raiding, and you're a legend, man. Big up to you, man. What you got coming up? Literally everything. Watch alongs, match reaction, interviews.
Yeah, man. Come on, we're there, man. Yeah, Lee Reacts is the one I want to boost, because I'm fucking sick of shouting about this football club, Dan. So thanks for having me on. Big up Albert, big up Northside, Kenny, Gal, the chat. And don't worry, guys, we've got the creative spark back tomorrow, who has created 39 big chances in the Premier League in 125 games. We've got Bergkamp back tomorrow, guys. He scores an average of 0.25 goals a game in the Prem. So I don't know how we're not going to beat Inter Milan tomorrow. Yeah, we're getting slapped. We're getting slapped at Chelsea as well.
We're
getting slapped. We're getting slapped at Inter, and we're getting slapped at Chelsea. Yeah, and if we don't, cool, because I'm predicting a loss in both. Yeah, Inter Milan, that manager will put his pants down tomorrow because he's tactically inept and our squad is shit. Yeah, whether they rest players or don't rest players,
agrees, man.
It is what it is. If they rest players, they don't rate us. Yeah, because they're level on points with us and they're above us. Yeah, we're both on 7 points. Yeah, they've still got to play Leverkusen. Let's not forget that.
Agrees,
Leverkusen away.
Mo, you're saying that you agree that Arsenal, we're going to get slapped up by you. But when we beat PSG 2-0, you put in the title of your video, Arsenal built for Champions League.
Yeah, man. Come on, Mo. We're built for the Champions League.
No, we're built for the Champions League, but we can't defend properly, mate.
The two can
coexist tomorrow.
We can't defend.
Big up, Mo, man. Big up, Mo.
Hey, all I know is Northside's gonna get sacked in FIFA before Arteta.
What a way to
hey, guys, one more thing. Can I just say something? I just so you know, Gyokeres wasn't the only one that got a hat trick. Diaz got a hat trick, but you know, against the team that's only lost twice in 68 games. But
but he inherited a better squad than Arteta apparently, even though Emery was in the fifth spot.
The reason I said that, because I'd rather watch that than the Gyokeres side, because I know what he could do.
He won't cook at Arsenal. I've said this before. Him, Isak, and Watkins will not do fuck all at Arsenal, because we're camped on the edge of the box. They will do nothing at Arsenal. We needed a Morata. We needed a Dovbyk. Yeah, we need a Vlahovic, somebody like that. These players, Gyokeres, Watkins, and Isak, they're always playing in transition. They ain't doing shit.
Do you guys get joy from other teams losing?
Yeah,
don't
when
support any
Barcelona
English-
lost
I don't
last
support
season.
England.
Yeah, when Barca lost under Xavi last season, I was pissing my pants every watch along.
No, but like, Man City losing today, losing to Bournemouth, like you don't.
Again, can I just say something? I'd never support the English teams in Europe. When Liverpool played Real Madrid in the Champions League final 2 years ago, I was supporting Real. When International played Man City, I was supporting International. I don't care who you are or what members of my family support an English side. They are rivals. They're taking a trophy that I want for Arsenal. So I'm sorry, in Europe, I wanted Fiorentina to beat West Ham. Nothing personal. Never support the English
supports
in
the
Europe.
English teams in England, right? I mean, he was Tottenham fan not too long ago.
Yeah, 14th of May, he was supporting
Oh,
Tottenham.
this shit is listen. If I don't, one second. If I don't remember correctly, Dan, you're one of the people saying if it means we win the title, then I want Tottenham to win. You said that.
No, I'll tell you what I said. I said that we balls this up, so it's going to have to now make me potentially actually try and secretly want Son to put that ball in the back of the net if it means it's winning the league. That's what I said. I never said that. Come on, Spurs.
Albert,
I ain't
were you
doing
on
that.
my page also? Were you on my page also? It's time to tell the truth, people. Albert, were you not on the same side as me? You wanted Tottenham to win that game so we could help us win the league, no?
No, you didn't want them.
No,
You didn't want them.
I know where Kenny Ken. One second, I know where Kenny Ken, Lee Gunner, and Northside stand on this. But Albert, were you on my page with this, or am I on my own here? You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute. You're on mute, bro.
Sorry, I thought you guys could lip breathe. Sorry, I don't know what your page is on. Sorry.
No, I was talking about when Tottenham played Man City and literally that game. Heart of heart, you wanted Tottenham to win that game.
I wanted Arsenal to win the league, man. That's what I wanted.
Thank you.
So
right answer. See, don't try to twist his words up, yeah? I caught you out on the show, and I'm sure Dan was, I think it was on here, where I said you support the Maple Leafs, yeah? Would you support the Canadians if it meant that they beat that team, yeah, for you as Maple Leafs to go and win the trophy? You said, hell no. So I said to you, why the fuck were you supporting Tottenham on the 14th of May?
Because there's two different things.
Mic drop, boom.
One second. In
President's Cup or Stanley Cup? President's Cup or Stanley Cup? Answer the question. Matt is talking so much. Matt is in the chat. Let's go. No, President's Cup or Stanley Cup?
No, but that's like saying, do you
answer the question?
No, that's like saying, do you want to finish top of the Champions League group stages or win the Champions League? Obviously.
Okay, so which one is it then? Answer the question. Stop waffling.
No, because one is not considered a real trophy. The other one.
Oh, thank you. But okay, cool. So which one would you take? The President's Cup or the Stanley Cup?
This president, bro, the president.
The presidency, that's the top of the tree one. Yeah, not the actual trophy.
Not an actual trophy. You know what the President Cup is? It's the person who wins the groups.
It's the one with the most points. It's the one with the most points, but you can still qualify for the Stanley Cup by finishing 8th.
Imagine Liverpool finish top of the league phase in the Champions League.
There you go. Well, answer Matty's question. NBA title or division title? NBA title or division title?
No one gives a shit about division title.
So why did you want to have fuck off account, man?
One second. This is a terrible comparison.
It's not. It's the same. Would Glasgow Rangers fans support Glasgow Celtic if they had to beat Aberdeen for Rangers to win the league? No, they wouldn't. Never.
Listen, you want to know something? If it meant that Barcelona had to beat Atletico Madrid for Real Madrid to win the league, they would probably they would.
There's no way Madridistas are supporting Barca. Never in a million years.
Heart of hearts, they would look.
No. Never in a million years. They would have realized, and go back and watch my stream from last night. I had a guy on my channel, 50 years supporting Arsenal, yeah, goes home and away. Yeah, I'll text you down there, right?
Yeah, big up
50 years home and away, yeah. That guy said, hell fucking no, we should have sorted it out ourselves. Yeah, there was no way I'm supporting them. And if they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. I don't care either way. Yeah, we should have won the league.
That's the difference there, man. You don't support a team. If I could have picked the result out of the hat, I would have gone Tottenham to win so that we won the league. Of course I would. But we should have done our business.
What's even better?
That's what we didn't do. So
you know what? I've
got to do these super chats and rap, but go on again.
West Ham. If West Ham could have won on the final day, whew, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, well, if this manager had beaten West Ham at home, yeah, we wouldn't have needed for West Ham to beat Man City. We should have beat West Ham at home, Fulham at
Listen,
home.
If we would have beaten Villa, we wouldn't have needed to worry about
10 men Fulham at home. We drew 2-2.
We will never agree until we have our Aguero moment, our league title, our
which we're not getting under this manager, so give it up. How long do you go, bro?
We haven't had it since the Emirates era. It's fucked.
Yeah, which is why I've got the hump.
This is why you want to make
356 days.
One second, I was sitting here smiling. You came in here, now you're making me depressed. What's going on, bro?
You don't like facts.
Let's do these, man, to close. Normski, big up to you, bro. Says it, Gal, let's face the facts. Edu did not do what was required in the summer window. Let's stop sugarcoating this and start speaking facts. Big up, Normski. Well, bro. To be fair to Egal, actually, I don't know that Egal was big enough Edu too much, but maybe I was
Edu out from time.
Matty, you're a legend, my bro. Brother Lee and I sat up last night and watched throwback fan cams. The same exact things that were said 10 years ago are still pertinent today. Shame. What?
Yeah, I sat there until 7 a.m. my time. Yeah, watching old fan cams. Yeah, and the same shit we were saying back then, is still relevant right now.
Was Ty still blaming the rain?
Claude was giving it. It's time to go. We were 2-0 down to a fucking pub team.
I love them, man. Sometimes I actually just listen to Claude when I'm like down. Sometimes he gives me up, man. Absolutely.
He's a top fan. It's sad that he's not here. You know what I mean?
Always.
I heard one Arteta out, Kenny.
This guy's smoking bush. That's why your name's Smoke, eh?
What's this? Yes, Gal, Savio is better than Saka, 100%. Look, I've only watched about 8 games of Savio, so I'm going to say Saka's better, but I haven't seen Savio enough, man. So,
right, man, actually, baby reindeer, baby giraffe, Sergio Ramos 3 times in 10 minutes last season, mate. Yeah. Tell me when Saka could dribble past anyone, let alone baby fucking giraffe him. Yeah, he don't take his man on. Savio.
Did you see him with Robertson the other day? He took Robertson and he said hello. Whoop!
Robertson slipped. Robertson slipped.
Okay.
And you're taking exception to the rule. But anyway.
What about last? You know what? Forget it.
Big up. There's a couple of super chats I'm not going to read, but big up to you.
Claude would be proud of Tank on 100%. He would be very proud.
Love. Nah, come on. Me and Claude were close. I loved Claude, man. Absolute legend, mate. Claude, you know what? Claude is the one person who got me into this. Like, he is the person who got me into this. Like, real talk. Like, there was, in terms of, he wasn't the person who told me to do it, but he's the first fan that I ever related to and could ever watch and think, wow, you're speaking facts. Like, I literally love Claude. And then to actually become close to him after that. I mean, to be fair, I only watched him for the first sort of 6 months before I started going, but that was because I had the pleasure of season tickets that could meet up with people, right? But real one, man. Absolute real one. I've still got a voice note on my phone, right, of when we won the FA Cup in 2020 and Claude going mental, going, come on, Potsy, come on. And it's like, I can't delete it. You know what I mean? We did it, Potsy, we did it.
One of the main reasons why I'm okay with everybody is because I regret how I spoke to Claude when I was on stream with him. And that's why I am the way I am with everybody, be it negative or positive. I'm cool with everybody.
But you were younger then and passionate and
you're just mad deluded about this club because you're hope. But you're actually a nice guy. Yeah, me and you are up some smiles and frowns, but you're actually sound. You just you just ain't on it with Arsenal, bro.
Listen, we're gonna get out of here, people. Absolute legends. Thank you all for locking in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, people. And look, we'll see you next time. I'll be back tomorrow. Big up to all of you. Make sure you're following all of these guys. And as always, up the Arsenal.
Latest.
Love.
Up the Arsenal.